Alright, we are live, and we're gonna just hang out for a minute while everyone comes in. Hello to you wonderful people, if you're joining us this evening. This is a very chilled stream, and we're gonna try something a bit different. And I hope you're all doing good this, what day is it? Wednesday night? Thursday night. Technically Thursday. It's past midnight, so we'll say that. For some reason, I cannot read the chat. I do not know why. It keeps telling me something's gone wrong, so we're going to have a little look at what we can do there. Very strange. I do not have a Lucy with me today, so it is just myself. Yeah, let me know how you all doing. What's the plan for your midweek as we get into a cozy environment? And I will say, I've got my peak tired voice on. It's my, you know, when you get really deep, nice and sleepy. I had to have a nap before this. I have no idea why the stream is not showing me chat. I'm trying to fix this. I don't know why. So I'm going to try and work on this right now. So bear with me a minute, guys. I don't know why. Of course, it happens the first time on my I'm doing this on my own for like ages. That's okay. I will find a way of looking at it. It's got like the little technology monkey with the hammer. Like something went wrong. Okay. Music today is being provided, well, at the moment, by the Nobody Music channel. I love their stuff. It's just really peaceful collections. If you ever need something to quiet the mind, that is where you go. Eventually, if we do this regularly, which we probably will, we'll move over to doing, like, the curated music that myself and Somnium and Rob Next and Spirit Voices have, because I don't want to get these demonetized, but, yeah. I cannot. For some reason, I still cannot see the chat. This is not great. I'm gonna see what I can do here. Maybe I'll open up in a new one, because it'd be nice to be able to read. In fact, I might have to. I really wouldn't have to go onto a separate browser, but I'm gonna see as we're doing this. So I am flying blind for a moment here, gang. Just bear with me. But I hope everybody's good. Let's get cozy. Let's chill out. Let's get ourselves ready for a relaxing time. We're going to be reading some STURGEON stuff today. I am going to be wrapping up two very long-standing projects, and we're going to read a bit of Hotel Inertia. I was tempted to put that in the chat. Maybe I'll put in Reads Hotel Inertia. I don't know. Maybe that'll attract more people, because I haven't forgotten. Oh no, I have not forgotten.
I put the lobster.
Okay, so that's an ad. So my chat is there, but I can't see it. That is so strange. I'm so confused. Oh no. Oh no. Hang tight. We will fix this. We will find a way through this together. We've got this. Okay. I mean, we have the live chat on. Really kind of shows a lot about my own incompetence, doesn't it? I will put this in the Discord, and we'll see If anyone can detect what's going on. Oh, there we go. All right, we're back. Okay, Ethan Nelson, Olivia Tagnac. Oh, volume is low. Okay, turn that up. Is that any better? A little bit louder now. Hi, Reth. Hi, Draco Morte Umbra. Hello, Phyrexian Ninja. Hello, Chewy. And hello, Jamie Richards. Yes, this was meant to be yesterday. I had to move it, so apologies on that front. Hello, Clue. Maybe I'll put, maybe I will put in Hotel Inertia. Maybe that'll attract more people. Okay, alright, there we go. There we go. But I hope everybody's good. We're going to start in a minute, and this is going to be something I'm going to try and do every single week. Keeps me honest, keeps me focused, and obviously I want to keep more content going out. And it'd be nice to have more people popping up. If we do them as consistently, we will have that. I also apologize. I thought I put the Nightmare Detectives video to public, and I didn't. So that is entirely on me. I humbly apologize. But with that, let's get ready. So, there's a couple things we're going to be doing. Where I need to read through my lines on the Tortoises and Tarots, because obviously we need to finish that. I need to do the bar series, which obviously we need to wrap up on, and Hotel Inertia, which you guys have understandably been waiting a long time for. So we will see what we can do there. So let's have a little look. But yeah, this stream, less chaos. Repo tomorrow, chaos. So today, it's just going to be nice, relaxing vibes. Obviously, the readings may get a little bit intense at places, but if you're chilling out, if you're cozy, if you're looking for more of a, a relaxing reading vibe, then that's what today is for. Always centers me playing this kind of music. Okay. I wrote Hotel Inertia such a long time ago. Like, and I mean a long, long time ago. I had to go back through my, like, right back through my original work. So, to put this into actually, do you know what, chat? I'm going to ask you guys. When do you think I wrote the Hotel Inertia arc originally for No Sleep? Soju is also a very good choice for Phyrexian Ninja. Very, very good. I respect that. But when do you guys think, if you had to guess, because I don't know how many people have been following me. Not 2008. I have been writing a long time, but I'm very glad it wasn't that long ago, because the stuff I was writing in 2008 when I was like 16 was peak cringe and would not have been entertaining. Although, if I can ever find my first fanfic, the Aron Sheik Archives, I will read it out with Lucy, because it's so cringe. It's so good. Okay. Lord of Barbarians 2015, Ethan Nelson 2014, Jamie Richards, I'm guessing just after the bar series. Hi, Dex. Okay, so, Jamie, you're absolutely right. Just after the bar series. You guys are zoning in now on it. So, does anyone know when the bar series is written? So, bear in mind, I've been writing a very long time, but the first thing I wrote in the STURGEON universe, well, the first long-form thing I wrote in the STURGEON universe, technically it was the same year, was the bar series. Does anyone know what year I wrote the bar series without looking on YouTube, without looking up on Dark Somnium? No cheating. Hi, Mike. Hello. I'm very curious to see who can get close. Like Lord of Barbarians, Ethan Nelson, you're a little bit off. A little bit off. Phyrexian Ninja, very close. 4 years ago, Jamie Richards. It was 2018. I wrote it. So I would have been right at the in fact, was it 2018 or 2019? Now I'm gaslighting myself. Hold on. Oh my god. I think it was 2019, sorry. It was right before the pandemic, which is such a terrible metric to run it by. But I started this series. I had a very inspiring email, and I started to write again a couple years prior. And then when... in fact, let me check. Hold on, I'll tell you 1 second before I finish waffling. So, according to No Sleep, where it is originally posted, it has been 6 years. Goodness me. So, I was writing at the very end of 2019. I was desperate to try and get something off the ground, and I was heavily inspired by stuff at the time. I started making it just like when No Sleep was in its heyday, and it was doing very, very well at the time, and No Sleep was a massive commodity. Gosh, it was so popular. And it just took off. I was very, very lucky, and I wrote the Hotel Inertia pretty much right after that. And at that time, the reason it kind of never finished was, unfortunately, the dictation was really that if audiences weren't interested, if they weren't paying attention, then it really wasn't something I wanted to continue, because, I was just starting out from scratch. I'd left my job, so the job market was a nightmare, and I needed to make money, so obviously, selling it to narrators and stuff, hence being Dark Somnium, and I was like, well, if no one's picking up Hotel Inertia, I'm just going to leave it. Which I did, and then I did Tortoises and Tarots, which a few months later, which did very, very well. Then I did Beneath the Static, which did terribly, ironically, and I still finished it because I was determined. It took me months, and then I did the Nightmare Fighting Championship, which did extremely well, and then followed up with The Last Sin Eater. So I was very lucky to have quite a few, I guess, hits, quote-unquote. But yeah, a lot of people still reference the Bar series as the one that kind of got them into, like, Sturgeon, or even Dark Somnium. Like, I've had some people mention that they want to hear it on Creepcast, which I'm not opposed to it. My whole thing with the Creepcast thing that kind of gives me a little bit of pause, and it's just a simple thing of, like, I need to ask colleagues if they get paid for it, because, like, this is my job, and I wouldn't mind not getting paid if the exposure translated into a massive new viewers for Dusklight Radio, into a massive new purchases for the book, but I'm not always convinced that that's going to happen, and my prominent concern would be, like, getting paid, because if they're gonna like make if they're gonna make fun of it, which is completely fine, they can. I have no problem with that. And millions of people are gonna do that. I would much rather get compensated for the damage of having to deal with that. So I hope, I do hope that's what they, that they offer pay, and in which case they can have it. But we'll see. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been half a decade of Sturgeon, which really incentivized me to finish it. To be honest with you, the current saga. That was actually the first story I've heard of yours, and to hear narrated by Dark Somnium, yeah, it's fucking sick. The Writer's Mythos, that's a classic show. Big thank you to David and the whole team at No Sleep Podcast for letting me do that. Run that show was such a delight. I had so much fun writing, researching, hosting that. I got to work with people like Mick Winger, who has done so much in the voice acting world in the last 15 years, but particularly he's really found his mainstream, if that's the right way to say it, like Hollywood stuff and video game stuff in the last sort of 6 years. So many cool people I've gotten to kind of work with through that. I missed that show, and I would definitely do something with it again, but I don't think it's going to happen, sadly. But nothing but love to them. The Mythos was great, and I was so new to doing all that, and David taught me so much about the process of making a show, like a properly commissioned show. I have nothing but good things to say about David. Such a kind, patient, caring human being who is so meticulous with his quality. And you guys got to understand, like, now I'm sitting in front of a studio. I've built this over time, over many, many years, where, I've gone back into streaming properly now, minus the chat issue, which is not my fault. We have a community here, which I could never have dreamed. I have a mic, so if anyone wants to know what mic I have, it's myself and Somni who have the same one. It's an AKG C214. Brilliant microphone with a Scarlett 2i2 interface. I've gotten back into using like Adobe and all the products, although not a fan of Adobe. Fuck the Adobe. That's what I'm going to say, but, you know. And now I do my, you know, my own editing and quality control, which obviously Ronnie's really helped with, but I had nothing when I started. I cannot stress to you, it was a tiny little MacBook Pro, basic software, and a head full of dreams, and I would never have gotten as good as I am, or as good as I think I am, without David's guidance and David's willingness to put up with my newbiness, and the end result is something I'm very proud of, although now looking back at it, you know, 5 years later, I know I could do a lot better, but, you know, that's why I have Dusklight Radio, and Dusklight was born out of that time because I wanted something to sink my teeth into. I really wanted to do something with the community. I've been on YouTube on and off for 20 years next year, in some capacity or another, which is insane, and you know, I was very lucky to have had like a few front page videos and vlogs and stuff back in the day, but I never put the effort in to kind of like make a community, and my biggest regret is not doing this at the beginning of my career when I was restarting in 2019, but things happen for the reason, and we're here now, and, you know, the community's growing. We've had 1,000 subscribers in, you know, last week or so, which is really cool, and we're gonna just keep on keeping on, and yeah. Maybe I'll, if I ever can, if I'm allowed to, because I don't own the rights to Writer's Mythos, but if I ever get them allowed to, I might stream some of the episodes, just like to show them off here, but I need to get permission first, for obvious reasons, and we'll see about that, but nothing but the best for them. Peter Lewis, incredible voice. Erica Sanderson, who obviously you guys have heard on the channel, is my, kind of like my acting mum, or like my acting big sister. I wouldn't be back on stage doing stage work in our theatre in the Bucks County, London area if it weren't for Erica, who is, you know, one of the most respected voice actors in NSP. To be fair, they're all incredible. Atticus is incredible, Nicole's incredible, Ash is incredible. They're all amazing. But Erica and I formed a very special bond during the pandemic and became very good friends, and obviously that's why she's been on the channel, as is Autumn and Chelsea. And again, like, it's kind of crazy that this tiny little channel, there's nobody of a writer is able to work with and be friends with people like Chelsea Rebecca from Dead Meat and Autumn Ivy from so many different projects now, like Mortuary's Assistant, and I think Cooking with Friends, they've just been in, and also Post-Mortem, so please go and check those things out, and it's only because of Sturgeon that's all come together, and I don't ever take that for granted. It's very, very fucking cool. Anyway, sorry for patting myself on the back there for a minute. Demi's Adventure is excellent. I can listen to it and it makes me cry. I love Demi. Well, we actually need to finish that as well. So maybe a bit of Her to Inertia. Maybe we do Demi's Adventure, because I really would love to get that. That might end up being the next big project, because I have to redo the sound design on Demi's Adventure 1, because I no longer have the rights to the programs I was using there. Now I'm using Epidemic Sound, which is much better. So maybe I'll move over and do that. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. We'll have a look at that. I found out about you thanks to Roger in the Bar series. I've been following for years, and that came out though, Jamie. That's fucking cool. Like, I mean, Ronnie and I connected through that story, and I was so like grateful to work with him, and obviously now he's one of my best friends, and I help run the channel. So it's been fantastic. And, sorry guys, got an email there. I get very easily distracted by chat. I'm about to go Cubase. I've tried Cubase a little bit. It's one of those things where, Cubase is, I understand it. It just kind of, it's a bit of a weird one for me. I need to kind of work on that a bit more, to get more, adept with it. And that's why I use FL Studio myself, because I've been using it on and off for so long. I came to listen to There's Only Embers at the end and loved it, so I don't get too emotional when it comes to these kind of stories, but I do feel the want to come up more often with GJ's channel. Thanks, Ethan. I appreciate that. I love writing sad stories, and, you know, that's why this project I'm doing at the moment with the series has been so dear to my heart, and why the one after it is going to be incredible. And we're putting all this up on a website. So tjlee.com will most likely be, because I've just renewed the domain, we're building the website in the background, and then I'm going to be putting all the chapters on there and all the Sturgeon content, and I'm going to keep my stuff on Reddit for now unless my manager tells me to get rid of it because of rights, but eventually I will move it over. I love seeing the messages and emails from the back in the day, and I don't want people to lose an ability to find it, but I think I'm going to follow what Jack Townsend did in Tales in the Gas Station, and I think in the long run, moving it to my own website is probably a safe bet. So that's more than likely what I'll be doing in the next couple months, and using it as a hub for Dusklight radio stuff as well. You know, we've really been slacky, so this summer we really want to try and make the community feel a bit more insular. So I will let you know how that gets on. But yeah, Scarlet 2x2, it's really handy. The interface is nice and simple. Works well for me. Thank you, Mike, for that. I mean, I think a lot of the narrators work very, very hard, and you know, there's as much bad as there is good in this world, and there's a lot of good people. Excuse me. Can't wait for more stories from every narrators. Thank you, Ethan. Group of voice stats is hardly paralleled. I agree. And we put in the work. Thank you, Osiris. Thank you, Dax. Might lurk for a bit. I might have to go. Got a busy day getting ready for dinner with my dad tonight. I need to get my apartment tidy. He thinks I had to because he dies of cancer on Tuesday. Dude, I'm so sorry. If there's anything, Jamie, while we're streaming, if there's anything I can read or, you know, talk about, like advising, like, you know, you say the word, we'll happily discuss that before you drop off. Like, I'm really, really sorry to hear that, man. That's rough. I hope it's treatable. I hope they caught it early. As someone who has obviously lost a parent, it is never a foregone conclusion of misery. The first few days of diagnosis are very hard, depending on the news, but you can persevere. Love will always persevere. That's what I believe anyway. Hi, Arkham Cookie. I might need help with the website. I will let you know. We have someone in the background at the moment, but leave that with me. I'll let you know. And yeah, Phyrexian, Gas Station Jack. Yes. So yeah. All right. So I think let's start with. I mean, these are so short as well. I could probably record all of my lines for chapters 1 and 2 right now. Now the question is, you know, being known as someone who does multiple voices, I don't know what voice Sigurd Jonsson from Hotel Nasha should be. Because, like, he's the one, like, you know, when I originally came to Sal Sabota, as people said Saboda, it's Sabota, it was a little, the last name was like a little small reference to Peter Sabota from UFC. I don't know why. It was such a weird name. Sal Sabota just kind of kicked in, but he's meant to sound like Moro Ronaldo. Now, some of you will know I work in broadcasting. I'm a wrestling commentator, and so like Moro Ronaldo is a hero of mine. I love the idea of like just a character. Like if I was to ever do the NFC, and one day I will, I think between us, chat, I think if I was to ever do the NFC, to put myself through the stress of doing that, I honestly think I would have to have 30,000 subscribers. I think if we can hit 30k will be the I will do NFC, but I'll probably do it in parts. But that's probably like 20k will probably be I don't even know what 20k will be. It's such an insurmountable number to me. But most likely like 30k I will do the NFC. But like, just to find a line here, like, and I love how Ronnie narrates, and obviously you guys come to me for different kinds of narrations, but if I was to do it, like, you know, the idea, and it would be Autumn reprising the role again of Alduin von Trier, obviously, but the way that Sal talk normally is like a bit of like a, you know, what the fuck is that? You guys doing animal fights down here? I mean, I called a monkey fight once, but it's not exactly pleasant. Like, very almost JJ-esque, but then when it comes to doing the actual commentary, and this is where I think it would put a lot of people off, but this is how I do it, is to take a line, it would be like, welcome, fight fans from around the world. God knows how you're listening to this or why, but here we are. I'm your host, Sal Motormouth Sabota, wishing this was all a bad dream. Joining me this evening is our cryptid specialist and all-around badass, Madam Nell Lockwood. How you doing, Nell? Like, it's such an animated voice. It's so kind of like over the top, and like for me, that's what Sal is, as you know, a bit of a self-insert in that, you know, I most people do a self-insert, they make them the Chad, the character who does all the cool things and knows everything and is super strong, whereas for me, it was like, nah, like if I'm gonna self-insert, let's make him he's the main character's perspective, but he's the background, in that, you know, he even has a point with Nell, he's like, I don't matter, I'm not as important. She's like, no, you matter because everyone matters. But, you know, with the ending with Nora, the idea was that he isn't the protagonist that everyone would want him to be. It was important in the world of creepypasta storytelling, where a lot of it comes up as cringe, that I did something that hopefully wasn't as cringe, you know. We've seen enough of that, and Creepscast is shedding a very interesting light on old school storytelling. But yeah, that's what Sal would sound like. Whereas Sigurd Jonsson is like, I feel like he's just a kind of a bit more relaxed in that way. It's going to be American still. I don't want to twangify it too much, but yeah, we'll see. Hi, Alex. Welcome. Hi, Ven. I hope you're doing good. I imagine more people will turn up, and that's why I thought I'd just hang out for a little bit. Dude, I need to re-listen to the NFC. I'm actually going to be re-listening to everything. And again, actually, you know what, chat? 20k, The Last Sin Eater. Calling it right now. 10k will be Hotel Inertia. 20k will be Last Sin Eater. 30k will be NFC. 40k will be Beneath the Static. 50k will be... 50k will probably be NFC Season 2, because by that point, me and Ronnie will have done it. That's probably... In fact, I'm going to probably... You know what? I'm going to enshrine this into lore. I will put this on the channel's description right now, so you guys can keep me honest. I want to hit 50k by the end of the year. That is my goal this year. And obviously, I say this with the caveat that is, you know, we don't upload consistently. We don't upload every week. We don't use AI in our text-to-speech or our sound design. We don't, you know, we do things the wrong way. But I love that we do it the wrong way. That is this channel. We do things our own way, and that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna fucking do. And if we can get 40 concurrent viewers, which I know we can because it's just about consistency, 40 concurrent viewers, what will I do? If we could stick to 40 concurrent viewers and chat can keep popping off, like regularly, I want our chat rate to be up as well. I will do an entire interpreted reading of one Sturgeon story, or just like a story that's not copyright of your choice. We're at 20 now, so that's fucking sick. But I want to see more concurrent viewers coming in. I love hanging out with you guys. And like I said, guys, just a reminder, normally it'll be Tuesdays or Wednesdays. I will always let you know, but Tuesdays or Wednesdays at 7 p.m. If you guys want me to do later, I'll do later. I really don't care. I can do later, I can do earlier, but Tuesdays or Wednesdays, 7 p.m. will be the chill stream. Thursdays, not every Thursday, it will depend on our schedules. We'll be doing either like Repo or Liar's Bar, and sometimes if everyone can't make it and I can, like I was thinking, what if I did Look Outside, this incredible turn-based Cronenberg pixelated JR like RPG horror game, like stuff like that. That's the sort of stuff I'm thinking as well. So yeah, let's put this in there, and let's put this down. So 10k. Hotel Inertia. 20k. The Last Sin Eater. 30k. The NFC. 40k. Beneath the Static. So, this would... And honestly, guys, like, if we did this year, I'm not kidding. Like, I will fucking... Like, I will make that happen. I will absolutely get on motivation, because the more views we get, the more that I can make a revenue off of this, which is obviously, you know, lovely. The more people that I hope will bring along, because it's a, you know, mixture of Night Vale mixed in with the horror similarities. I don't need to sell the channel. You guys know what we're all about. But the more motivation I have, the more people that are joining, the more community, which you guys have been fucking incredible with our community, I have to say. You know, just on the Antlion, which, to be fair, I actually need to switch that now, because it's not the featured video, which is terrible after 2 weeks. But the more that we have doing that, the more I'm going to want to get involved, and I'm gonna want to make content, and I love the process. I just want people to be there for it. That's all it is. I want people to turn up so that that effort is rewarded. And, I'm definitely not adding links that we really needed to have already for the channel while I'm talking to you guys, because I'm responsible and I do things ahead of time, because I'm not stupid like that. Who said that? Shut up. Oh dear, this is atrocious on my part. We're gonna fix this right now. So yeah, you could take a little look. You could see we have already got the stuff in chat. So we're gonna start reading in a minute. I knew that people would trickle in, which is what I was expecting and hoping for. So we will start with, I think Hotel Nasha, and then we'll read Demi's Adventure, and then we'll wrap up with either the Bar series or Tortoises. I'm not 100% sure which order we're going to do it in yet, but it'll probably be like that. Most likely, anyway. So, home tab. There we go, featured video. I really should have changed this. That's so bad on my part. I am so disappointed in myself. Oh, no. Alright, well, I've changed these out. I also need to give a special shout out to As the Raven Dreams, who I need to get thumbnails sorted by again. He was incredible to work with, and I cannot stress how much I love that guy. Really good to work with, really professional. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Okay, sorry chat, I was momentarily distracted. Yeah, what about 100k? What would I do for 100k? Ooh. I mean, it will change, but what if I told you that for 100k, we would do a... Oh. What if for 100k, I did a special live Sturgeon performance? I cannot guarantee this second part. I must stress this. This is something I've just had an idea of, but what if I get offered with all the voice talents we've had over the years that I could get? So, Autumn Ivy, Chelsea Rebecca, Erica Sanderson, Dark Somnium, Romnex, Spirit Voices, every major character we would do a live audio performance of a custom Sturgeon story for you guys, like a Dusklight Radio specific, and probably do it as a charity drive for 100k. I mean, at that point, how could we not? Probably do something where we raise awareness for something. Yeah, probably something like that. That would be cool. And once we have enough people coming in for the streams, like I do want to switch the Nightmare Detectives or post Nightmare Detectives into a weekly live stream. That would be the other thing. But again, we'll see. I don't know what the okay, Sturgeon or Hollow's End. Okay. Oh shit, yeah, because Jordan Group has Hollow's End, which is fucking sick, by the way. You should check that out. He's very, very talented. Majora's Mask and Read All the Voices. I would love to do a Majora's Mask stream. I would be down to do that. It's my favorite game. So I would love that. My truck is trying to do the cha-cha slide going down the road. Bro, please be careful, Mike. Please be careful. Don't die. Please don't die. Raven is the best burb. Pizza, chicken, rice, chicken. Wait, rooster, chicken. Yeah, okay. This looks like brain rot. I like brain rot. You are welcome to put brain rot in the chat. I will tell you when it's too much. I thought for a minute you were all doing a fucking chicken jockey reference, and I was momentarily concerned. But yeah, okay. I think we're gonna start reading. So let's switch the music out. Now, would you guys prefer no music, soft ambient tones, what we already had playing, or some piano music? Because I want to set a nice scene, and obviously, it's a community thing. So comfort is important to me. Not gonna lie, chances are I'm gonna end up going back and listen to a couple of your older stories again. The life extension of Zimmers at the end have helped a lot with what's going on with Mum. Oh, bless you, Jamie. I'm writing another, or I'm gonna be doing another grief story. So, for what helps, when this Sturgeon story about Antlion is done, which will hopefully be in the next few months, I'm writing about my dad
for the very last time, because I've never written about his accident, his killing, what happened, and I've waited. Like, The Embers was done when he got diagnosed. Demi's Adventure was done before he went into hospital. Everything I've written on, and the Life Extension was something unrelated. I've had other losses, but I've never written about what happened to him. And, you know, we went through a whole legal process. Like, we sued the hospital, there was an inquest, lots of stuff. And the book I'm writing is called Fractals. It'll probably change, but it's going to be the same style of writing as the Antlion, with it being experimental, so every chapter a different structure. And I already know it's going to do well because the people who were, and I say this in big quotation marks, put off by the trans woke conversation, which I get it, it's not pleasant, no one wants to have it, but it's necessary. The people who want my horror but not that will flock in their droves to this because it's about loss. And I will be sharing it on Dusklight, provided I'm able to. So, yeah. Bear with me for that, and as soon as I have some of it, Jamie, I will be putting it up in the Discord or on Dusklight or something like that nature. Okay, let's, so are Fractals canon the stories, or is it no? No, I mean, I would say a lot of what is in Nightmare Detectives is canon now. In fact, what do you guys think it should be canon or not? Because to me, it is. Like, what happens to Nell in Nightmare Detectives is technically canon. Like, some things are on a bit of a side story. Like, I know how Nell's story ends because I've known that since the very first time I wrote about her, in a story that none of you have ever read because it was, like, it got, like, 50 upvotes on Reddit. Nell was the first character I ever came up with for the Sturgeon, by the way. Madam Nell Lockwood. The very first character. That's why I love her so much. But I would say a lot of it is canon. Like, I do want to bring in elements of the Nightmare Detectives characters like Endicott into certain stories. I just will not do it awkwardly. I think one thing that has saved me from ridicule in my literary career is that I was already older. I was in my mid to late 20s when I started writing again, and I've avoided a lot of the pitfalls that I did when I was a teenager, so I don't have awkward tropes, or too many of them. And I think bringing in too many characters straight away, like Mr. Sticky, would just be kind of strange and tonally adjacent. So I probably won't do that right off the bat. But canon, yes. I definitely think a lot of what is going on, like the Fractals is important. Like the Fractals appear in the NFC Season 2. So that is for sure gonna change things, I'll tell you that much. Okay, 25 people, getting more views every time. See, this is why I want to stream more regularly. The more people that see this, the more people I turn up with, the more come along. Hopefully you're all in the Discord. If you're not, please consider going there. I'm probably going to do, there's another thing as well. Why not? Let's keep the announcements going. So we are nearly at, I think we're at 60, maybe 50 something. Yeah, 60 something people. When we hit 100 people in the Discord, I'm going to do a hangout. We'll do a Discord hangout. Everyone can come along. We'll do some Q&As, like live conversations, questions. Yeah, be a nice little celebrate. Okay. The All-Mother being canon is terrifying. Yeah, the All-Mother is definitely canon. And that is all I'm going to say. The All-Mother came up long before I wrote. Well, if you think about it, with Moira and Clodagh and whatnot in NFC, they talked about the All-Mother. So, yeah. She's very different in the NFC because, obviously, as I'm sure you guys know, 70% of what you've heard in Nightmare Detectives is improv. I improved way more than any DM is supposed to, I will say that. I always knew where I was going, but a lot of what I did was improv. Whereas when I'm writing, I put a lot more time into it. And for the next campaign we're putting out, which is heavily inspired by Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Earthbound, that is more of a written style. Still a lot of improv, but I've written a lot for that. We are currently finishing up the mini campaign, the Gunkersons, which we've now called the Spectres, which will be is now going out on Patreon. That won't be very long, probably 20 episodes, and then we're going into campaign 2 proper, starting at the end of the year, and that will most likely be simulcast. Excuse me, most likely be live stream. I would love, my thing is I want to put it up live for everybody when we have more of an audience that wants to check it out. And I know it's not likely that people will like it as much as the other content, which is fine, but I do want to kind of build that. So I'll keep you posted on what we're doing. We've got a couple guest stars, some cool things, but that'll be it for now. And yeah, I mean, what I'll do, guys, is I'm going to start reading, and then when I finish the first chapter, I would love for you guys to tell me, and it will be spoilers, so please be aware if you're not caught up, but I'd love for you guys to tell me what you think of Nightmare Detectives, both in the lead-up, the finale, stuff like that. But without further ado, let's get comfy, and let's start the reading. And I always forget I have to open up the fucking file to do this. Okay. Oh, wait, do I have music end? No, it didn't. Okay, perfect. My name is Sigurd Jonsson. Ross for short. Yes, the band. No, I didn't choose it. I've been stuck in this hotel for over a week now. I'm currently in the service elevator with bioluminescent lighting, the only light I have. Thankfully, I have my music. If you feel like immersing yourself, well, feel free. I figured before my task on the floor 13. I figured before my next task on floor 13, it'd be good to get this out into the world for brevity. See, if anyone else has been to this place or can offer me some form of advice, but hell, I'm mostly just doing it so if I die when I reach the 13th floor, someone will know what happened to me. Hotel Inertia has a reputation that precedes it. The name itself is in hindsight paradoxical. You name it, people say they saw it. A room with a doppelganger ahead of themselves? A room with a doppelganger of themselves? Yep. A hallway that has nothing but baby hands. You know it. A vegan entering a room full of headless pigs screeching at them? Well, that one may be a prank. But the fact remains that the Hotel Inertia gained a reputation in these parts as a last-chance saloon of sorts. You only go there when you've nowhere else to go. Or you need to be paid. Enter me, needing to get paid. I took a job with an outsourcing agency that guaranteed quick and efficient work with minimal checks. Some shit went down in my old town and I needed a change of pace. Where I was at wasn't doing it for me, and new scenery like Sturgeon felt like a chance to grow. Fuck me if I didn't get a chance and then some. Look, I don't know if you'll believe me, but like the title suggests, this hotel, it's not normal. Not in a paranormal activity kind of way, that'd be lame and, much like a takeout from the Winking Eel, largely unsatisfying. That's not a good explanation, but I think it'll become clear as we go on. I'll start at the beginning. This is being dictated to my personal phone, so you'll have to forgive any syntax errors. I'll clean up as best I can. Day 1. Hotel entranceway. Land of the snobs.
Welcome to Hotel Inertia. We hope your stay will be most normal.
This fucking creep beamed back at me as I stepped through the huge oak doors, the bright foyer almost blinding me if this guy's teeth didn't do it first. I swear, if had I been any closer, it'd have peeled off my skin. I swear, had I been any closer, it'd have peeled me. Ugh. I swear, had I been any closer, it would have peeled my skin off with the shimmer. Yeah, hi. I'm Sigurd Jonsson, the maintenance guy you guys requested to deal with some of the outstanding issues. I extend a hand out. This dude was pulling a Fibonacci spiral with his spinal cord to lean in, and was decidedly creepier when he did not extend his own hand, instead bowing deeply.
I understand, Mr. Johnson. Please sign in and accept my apologies for obstructing your most important journey. Ring the bell once you're done, and the concierge will attend to your every need.
He began to walk away as I called after him. Oh, that's okay, bro. I could just sign in and get on with it. The concierge is no big deal. When he stopped in his tracks. I don't mean he stopped walking. I mean the dude became inert. His entire body seized up, and he twisted around to face me in one continuous pivot. Eyes wide and smile pulled up like it was on fucking tenterhooks.
Oh, the concierge is vital, Mr. Johnson. I would strongly advise against demeaning her in any way in her own home. Good luck to you.
I felt my hair stand up on end, but I nodded and let him walk out of view before I imitated his frozen-up stature and penguin-like walked myself over to the desk. A visitor's form greeted me with a large silver bell to the left. I did as instructed and rang while filling out the form. The pilgrim has arrived, it seems. Whoa! I audibly shouted, the woman in front of me appearing out of thin air. Hey, next time you want to pull a Houdini on me, maybe cough lightly, I added after catching my breath, her disarming smile helping to settle me.
My apologies, Mr. Johnson. I am the concierge of this fine establishment, and I wanted to greet you in person to go over your tasks today.
She was in her 60s, a shaven black head and a trim frame adorned by a blue suit with not a single button out of place. I dare say she commanded the room with a single look. She certainly had me on edge when she spoke, my eyes following her arm as it outstretched to the long hallway. Follow, if you please. She smiled and I obliged, trailing behind her as my tool belt jangled, not daring to imitate her in the slightest. Our hotel is very old, and as such, has multiple aspects that need to be fixed, inspected, or replaced. Right. Boss said it wasn't a one-day job and that I'd be here a while, I added, now suddenly wanting to show I was motivated. I have no idea why. The pay was okay, but the job wasn't special. Oh, and you're welcome to call me Ross. Everybody does. Before she can open her mouth to reply, I interject with, yeah, like the band. She chuckles before regaining her composure quickly and gazing ahead. An astute observation by your employer. You will have a set of tasks per shift, but it will take you some time. Multiple issues reside within multiple floors of this hotel, and it has many. We reached the end of the hall, and one elevator stood on either wall, with one on the far wall as well, signifying the end of the hallway. The left was a rickety mess, dust covering the doorways and a do not use sign affixed to the buttons. The one to the right was a gorgeous brown elevator, a metallic gate covering the front, and a beautiful gold lettering adorning either side, H and I beaming back at me. It was the center elevator, however, that caught my eye the most. The doors stretched from wall to wall, huge metallic wings that were covered in engravings and markings beyond anything I can understand. They expect me to go into one of these, and I can't lie, I'm banking on the right one. Your tasks for today are as follows, Ross. She hands me a small sheet with a basic outline of the floors. My eyes widen as I spy something off, but I barely have time to linger on them before she begins talking, and my mind snaps into work mode. She walks to the far end elevator and extends a key card to a panel on its right. The door is lighting up and groaning open agonizingly slowly as she nonchalantly reads off my duties for the day. Your shift runs until 4 a.m. This elevator is a multi-purpose service elevator that houses basic facilities, built-in Wi-Fi, and a medical kit should you fall ill. Please do not utilize the other elevators you see during your shift. These are for our guests. Floor 5 is having an issue with the air conditioning. Some have been claiming it makes them feel woozy. You'll find the main heater in the community center straight ahead from the elevator, assuming it's still the source. If it isn't, please contact me on the panel in the elevator. Some of the residents in the west wing of floor 7 have complained of a constant damp and foul odor coming from above. Use your trade skills and, clear natural charm to politely abolish the problem with whatever residents are causing it, if you so wish. Do be wary, though. Our residents on that floor have behavioral issues. Lastly, floor 9 has been experiencing constant noises coming from our VIP's room night, and that's terrible for me, Jesus. Lastly, floor 9 has been experiencing constant noises coming from our VIP's room night and day. I'm unsure how long it's been going on for at this point, but it's long enough that residents have been checking out en masse, and I wish to alleviate such a disturbance for them. Please take these earplugs and check in with me before and after this task is completed. The doors open with a final clunk as she holds out her hand and extends the earplugs. I'm in awe of how efficient this woman is, like a fucking metronome in perfect synchronicity with the world around her. I take them as she pulls out her pocket watch to observe the time. Well, you're officially on the clock, and I have another appointment, so this is where we part. No complex rules. I trust you to do your job well and contact me if there are concerns. She moves her arm, still outstretched, to the now huge room-like elevator as I step inside. This elevator is remotely controlled and will only visit the floors I've assigned you. Please relax and enjoy your stay here at the Hotel Inertia. I swallow, my throat dry, and clutch the map in one tightly balled-up hand, her teeth bared in a wide grin as the doors begin to close. Out of view, I hear one of the elevators opening up and a furious voice erupting from the shaft as it turns to muffled sounds when the doors close. So it's still day 1 and my first stop is floor 5. We'll call it the center for now. The job is to fix the heater and move on. Seems simple enough, right? If only. Fucking glad I'm not them, that's for sure, I mutter, fumbling with my phone and loading up my personal playlist. Always a surefire way for keeping me calm when anxiety loomed or situations begin to fall out of my control. The room was sizable, especially for an elevator. A beanbag lay in the corner with a box containing a first aid kit and a small desk opposite. A large panel with dozens of floors and a small video terminal placed above it. The luminous Hotel Inertia sign above that. I sighed and hit play, letting the music calm me down as I felt the floor beneath me rumble and the room bathed in a soft blue light. I stared at the map again, and this time allowed myself to take in what the fuck I was seeing. It was more complex than words can accurately describe, but fuck it, I'll take a crack at it. Every floor was obviously numbered with a tenancy, population, room count next to it. But there were then these small runes affixed beneath the floor numbers that served no purpose. Information I couldn't make heads or tails of, and the floor plans, well, they were faded out as if incomplete. The ground floor made perfect sense. All the dimensions were roughly to scale, and the size of the building from the outside view matched the documents, but the 5th floor I was going to was partially filled in, and that was what made my anxiety flare up. Not because I thought I was being put through some god-awful Mr. Beast prank for YouTube clicks, but because the look in the concierge's eyes assured me I wasn't. I took another deep breath and decided to text my best friend, Soma. She was the better half of me in the most honest sense. No matter what day I was having, she would have a great story, a meme, or a song ready to lift my... No matter what day I was having, she would have a great story, a meme, or a song ready to lift my spirits. Hell, it was because of her that this playlist exists. Just got onto site. Shit's getting weird. I think this concierge is trying to LARP as a cast member of The Shining, I texted, knowing I would most likely not get a reply yet, but the action itself was comforting. No sooner had I finished, the doors opened on a small room housing a single spiral staircase encased in a beautiful black mesh, runes running around every handrail, and the stairs themselves extending up to a single balcony some 50 feet above me. What the... Did I break the hotel? I lean out tentatively and stare dumbfounded at the room, expecting a hollow wall or some kind of trick to appear. But after a moment, I shrugged and ascended up the stairs, wondering what the hell I was going to find on the other end, feeling a thick chill rising the higher I went up. Upon reaching the top, thighs shaking and sweating like it was the goddamn rainy season, I placed my hand on the doorknob and pushed, giving way to a room that would be the first of many to defy all logic and reason. I was staring out into a large, circular community center, grim as a funeral home and a damn sight cold as one. To the right was a worn-out stage and torn curtains. Strewn around the room was a bunch of hammocks, couches, and sleeping bags. A dozen or so people huddled down in the center for warmth, with a ton of sleeping bags, each window fogged over and some soft music playing through a speaker in the corner. The moment I stepped through and exhaled, my breath visible in front of me, they turned in unison to stare. The group had unusual carpets and garments, tapestries hung up with beautiful patterns, and upon closer inspection, they were all no older than 30. Definitely didn't look like they were from any country I recognized. Travelers, I'd have guessed. Hey guys, here to fix the heater, but it seems like you're all dealing with a damn ice age here. My own wit is failing me in the face of what I'm seeing. How the hell is a circular community center at a hotel? It made no sense.
We have waited ages.
A thick accent cuts through the air. I can't place it, but I'd have guessed European. He's covered in several layers of clothes, an eyebrowless face staring back at me as he walks towards me, the rest of his group huddling up and murmuring as they talk amongst themselves. I got hired recently, sorry, I sheepishly replied. Customer service was never my strong suit.
How recently? We are so cramped in our own skin being wrapped up like this,
he replied, the anger in his words permeating through the visible air around us as I looked around the room for the heater, spying it at the top of the farthest section of the wall next to a solitary pair of swinging double doors. 15 minutes ago, maybe 16, I lost count, I replied dryly, my bones aching from the cold as he glared at me. Can I get to work now? I don't want to end up like Jack Frost. He stared for a moment and muttered, Jack Frost? Back at me. Must not have had the joy and mundane terror of Christmas movies wherever he was from. He nodded and left me to it, walking back to his group of people as I passed them, avoiding eye contact as best I could. These people were not happy. I had no idea how long they'd been waiting, but it was long enough that they'd have to form a goddamn encampment at their main meeting room. Using a nearby ladder, I began my work on the heater. I won't bore you with the mechanical details, but some elements needed tweaking and replacing. A relatively simple job if, like me, you knew what you were doing. As I was finishing up, I heard a few of them talking, and my ears perked up. I was in such a hurry I had to leave my provisions behind. I cannot remember the last time I ate, Georgia, grumbled one woman to her friend, shivering the whole time, the same thick accent coming through. I know. We couldn't even enact the lunchtime initiative. It's such a shame. But we can hold out a bit longer. All will be fine, Katya. We are built for this. She pats her friend's shoulder as I close the panel and push the reset button, scaling down the ladder. I felt bad for these people. Must have been hell being stuck up here with this weather for God knows how long. I don't know what the hell a lunchtime initiative is, but if you need something to eat, you can have mine, I guess, I said, kneeling down to get some sandwiches from the tool bag. Their faces lit up as the rest of their group shuffled over, excitedly murmuring. My phone buzzed, and I saw Soma had replied. The first message was only partially downloaded, but the second made my eyes widen and my muscles tense up, the feeling of malice in the atmosphere. And now I need to change the music, because I remember what this scene is. Man, I have not had to do this in a long time. Okay. Oh, dear. I did as she said. The moment I hit play, the buzz of the heater kicked in. Oh. God damn it. I did as she said. The moment I hit play, the buzz of the heater kicked in and a low droning sound rang out from the speaker. One by one, the folks began to disrobe from their parkas and outstretch their arms, basking in the heat like moths to a flame. It was rising far too quickly, and I could feel the sweat running down my back, but I didn't move a muscle. The man I'd spoken to was at the back, devoid of eyebrows like some psychopath, and smiling in ecstasy as he began pulling at his fucking skin. First it was a small scratch, which turned into a frenzied tearing, ripping at chunks of his flesh, more and more away each time. But there was no pink skin, muscle, or viscera underneath. No. Something thinner behind it shone through. Literally. A green and brown carapace. The light bouncing off it like looking at a stag beetle under direct sunlight. The form molting in front of me and rising as each member of this group did the same. Some had pincers. Others had a dozen legs. Others had dozens of legs. All had these vaguely humanoid stances with some flesh left on the face, thick, bulging eyes beaming down at me. Even though my music was blaring, I could hear one speak to me, mandibles clicking away as the pincers at the end of its forearms dripped. We were unable to birth young to feast on, what with the weather so cold. I had no idea how we'd survive another season. Those humans would have stormed us all had you not intervened. I must say, the disguise is remarkable. The concierge knows how to pick them. Please do feel free to let it go. We are ever so hungry, and that skin looks positively delightful. One word ran through my head, and regrettably out of my mouth before my nerves could stop it, right as the drums kicked in. How appropriate. An elongated nope rang out as I threw my lunch at the heater, clogging the vents, and a thick stuttering sound joining the buzzing to make what some music fans may call a rather relaxing noise band. The woman nearest to me extended her proboscis, and before I had a chance to whip around, punctured my neck like a fine needle. I felt my knees buckle and my vision blur, but I refused to go down. Call it stupidity, fight or flight, hell, you can call it plus ultra if you want, but I like to think of it as desperation mode. That moment in a human's life when they go beyond their limits, like a mother lifting a car to save her trapped baby. I leaned down to stop it going in further as I felt her hunger run through my veins, pulling a hammer from the tool bag and smashing it across the proboscis until I hear a sickening crunch. Holding it defensively, I began to swing wildly as I rushed through the horde of monstrosities, knocking it into anyone who dared to stand in my way. It's hammer time, bitch! You like the hammer? I called out, nerves and adrenaline fueling my actions as I rushed for the door. As I rushed for the door I came through, shouting as a rumbling emanating from the double doors by the heater now spurning me on, like a nightmare where you know something's right behind you, but you dare not look. The last thing in my way was Captain Browless, a bunch of thick singular hairs strewn across a thick singular hairs strewn across a stick insect body as he bore down on me, sharp arms ready to cut my flesh. You will be the death of us, Tinkerer. You were not supposed to fight back. It hissed. Again, no idea how I heard it, but it was as if it seeped into my very thoughts. I sidestepped and smashed it in the leg, the force crunching the bone and Inspector Eye. The force crunching the leg and the force crunching the bone and dropping them down. Inspector Eyebrows falling to the ground in a clump as I kept on running, shouting back, "Yeah, I call myself a fixer, but right now I'll settle for exterminator, bitch!" Before slamming the door behind me, sliding down the spiral stairs and rushing back to the elevator. The sound of thundering footsteps behind me as I frantically hit close and leaned against the door. The music finishing, and all the bravado from my body leaving in a single instant. The hole in my neck began to pulsate, and with every thump, my vision grew worse. I felt my muscles beginning to lock up, and fear gripped me absolutely. I just acted on instinct, treated it like a video game because the room itself made no sense, but what was I thinking? My last words were the lines a B-list movie celebrity might say for a terribly funded Kickstarter game. Is that what I wanted my legacy to be? My chest tightened and I mustered the strength to lift up my phone and reply to Soma before my energy failed me. Unable to even reach the first aid kit. I noticed the first message had downloaded and read that first, straining my sight to see what she'd sent. It was a screen grab of an email from an unknown sender to Soma's inbox, with the subject, "You can still save Ross." Inside was a list of instructions and information to aid Soma in how to help me. A cheat sheet of what was to come, but she had blurred it all out prior to sending it. The caption beneath being the last thing I saw before passing out. Don't follow the sounds. And that, my friends, is chapter 1. And now I'm going to catch up on the chat. Ross, for sure. What do you guys think? It's very poorly written, I think, compared to other stuff I've done. I enjoy it, but I think it's a little bit cringe. Little cringe. Oh, sorry, so I couldn't see your message. It says message retracted. Ethan, I promise I won't run you over with the cart. That's just something I do to Ethan. That's fair enough. I mean, I'm not going to judge you. I'm currently looking for a barndominium. Word of advice, do not build a barndominium. Okay, I'm now curious, Mike. What is a barndominium? I did only start today, though, so I'm sure I'm way through steadily. Hell yeah, let's go. Yeah, I enjoyed, I mean, the whole point of doing Hotel Inertia was just to be goofy, was to do, like, a story that was not that serious, was just more of a laugh, like, we build friends along the way, and that's kind of why I liked it, because, like, it just, to me, it felt like a nice escape from everything else that was, like, you know, I normally write, and, yeah, like, I don't know, I found it fun, and I do, well, apparently my character did at the time. I can't remember why. But a condo built into a barn. A barndominium. That's fucking great. I am such a fan with that. Alright, well, before I read Debbie's Adventure Part 2. Oh, I love frying pans. Well, let me know what you guys thought of that. And let me know what you're thinking of Nightmare Detectives. If you're at the end, if you're nearly caught up, if you're not caught up, give me some thoughts. I'm going to switch up the music a little bit. I like this playlist, but we need something a little bit different. Let's do... oh, yeah. I don't know why, and maybe this is just the YouTuber problem, but like I really enjoy Minecraft music, but redone in like different forms. Like there's a version by I actually used this album, not this particular version, but An Empty Bliss Beyond This World by The Caretaker, and that was the music that plays a lot in Hotel Nash's original transmissions and uploads. And I found a version where it's Minecraft music but reworked to this, and I don't know, it's so peaceful, it's so cool. Yes, very nice. The Trial. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, you are nearly caught up. Yeah, that's yeah. So oh no, you mean the Hotel Inertia Trial? Yeah. That was a lot. That was a lot. I have such a love for the Hotel Inertia arc. That was so fun. Like when in the early days, right, flying by the seat of my pants. I just found that to be so enjoyable. Okay, let's get Demi's Adventure up. Yes, we got the Elder, that's right. Now, here's the problem. I have to double check what voice I did, because I don't remember my accents, because Demi's Adventure 1 was so long ago, and I had to redo it because I lost all my files. Mighty Me, I'm so far behind, it turns out that being a parental figure is time consuming. I get that. I can understand that. That's why I want people to enjoy it in the background when they've got time. Like, I'm a big binger, I love binging stuff, so having stuff to, like, enjoy in the background is what I want for people. Mid-lister won't leave my brain. I'm gonna let Lucy know that. That's so good. Mid-lister. Oh dear, I was funny once. Clue. They can't guess the plan if you don't have one. Exactly, Clue. I'm so glad you said that. Also, just for those who are on the Blackwell tier, we are doing the next 2 or 3 Dusklight transmissions, which obviously Lulu is in charge of, and they have all the Blackwell shenanigans, so you can expect to enjoy those soon. We'll do Demi's Adventure in a few minutes. I do need to go back and find out what my voices were, because I do not fucking remember. So I'm going to do that in a second. Unless someone wants to go and check for me and listen to the intro and tell me what my main narrator voice was. Because my brain don't work so good. I don't have the dumb brain. But I do want to finish that as well. It'd be really cool actually, because maybe stream for about an hour. I would love to get 2 more stories or even 3 more stories read, because then I'm just ahead on content, which is kind of the reason I want to do this, so that I know I am able to just generate content in a much quicker fashion for you guys without compromising on my quality. It is mostly just the sound design that's the problem, but I kind of have some degree of a brain, Jamie. Not much of one, but it's there. It's there. I think my American accent was what I did for Denny, so that's fine. And I think the computer was American, or it might have been like a pre-voice. Just checking. Oh, that's right. I did a weird voice for it. Oh gosh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I did like a. I remember now, and I added in all the sound effects. Yeah, okay, cool. I just had to go back and listen to it. I put mine in timeout when I got home. Your brain? Oh, okay, that's fair. I get that. Getting that body doubling in. Fuck yes. Will you stream the editing parts too? Yeah, I would definitely stream the editing parts. Most likely next week, if I'm not got anything to record, then I'll be just streaming the editing process. So you can kind of assume that if I'm not recording, it's editing streaming. So yeah, absolutely. Phyrexian brain? No, I'd rather not. Yeah, I don't blame you. All right, so I think, dude, we could just record all of the remainder of Demi's Adventure. We could just get it done tonight. We could. At least then I've got Hota and Asha Part 1, rest of Demi's Adventure. Oh, that would be nice, actually. It is a massive undertaking. But I could. We also had, like, you know, nice 20 concurrent views, so maybe. I'm also, I am so tempted to play Look Outside. The problem with the reason I'm worried about it is that any story-based, like, turn-based games that's my catnip, I love to either watch them, like, I don't watch many YouTube channels, but Alpha Beta Gamer I watch because he does a lot of cool indie stuff, and that helps inspire me. He's done it already, and I wanted to watch that. But also, I don't think I would actually be able to resist playing more of it off-stream. And that's a slight problem. So, maybe not that one. But I do want to play more horror games on channel, especially when people are too busy. I'm also wanting to just play other games, like, you know, I don't want to turn this into a gaming channel necessarily, but, you know, my biggest love outside of horror and writing is gaming, so we'll see. My brain gets pats on the head for I had to deal with it in a sick body today at work. I'm sorry, Ethan. Yeah, that sucks, man. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Slay the Princess stream. I would do Slay the Princess. Many of my colleagues worked on that. I would do that game. That might be one I save. So I've already got it downloaded. I just haven't touched it. Mouthwashing. Mouthwashing is a really good choice. Maybe Repo this week and mouthwashing next week. That might be what we do. I might put it to a vote. We'll see. Alright. Let's jump in with... Oh god, that is so dark. I really wish Google Docs would fix this shit. It's so dark and unpleasant, I hate it. I don't know how to make my Google Docs, like, actually, like, do dark mode properly. Like, I'm just staring at a massive fucking white screen, and it's so off-putting. It's like major uggo. Which makes you sound like I'm fucking Paris Hilton. But I mean it. It's uggos. Okay. Oh god, my fucking eyes, dude. Hold on. I need to fix this. This is so painful. Like, I cannot sit in a dark room at 1:30 in the morning. And read this, or my eyes are gonna fucking glaze over, and I'm gonna need like, okay, adding to Opera Docs After Dark, thank you. Right. Please just work. I'm begging. I am begging. S'il vous plaît. You have to bear with me for a sec, chat. I am trying to add this on and find out what I can do. Extensions, there we go. Dark mode. Yes, Docs After Dark. There we go. Oh my god, that sucks. I know you guys can't see it, but oh my god, it just sucks. See, the problem is, it does dark mode, but the document stays white, which is really... Okay, there we go. All right, thank you very much. Okay, we're good. We're good. We out here. We truly struggling. Yeah, I don't have light mode on anything. It's just Google occasionally does that. Say the Princess might be the one. Good luck, Jamie. We're thinking about you. You know, hope things go okay. All right, let's try to do let's do part 2, and let's then see how I feel after part 2. Because I'm also filling in a lot of the voices, so the problem I'm having is that, obviously, when it comes to reading it again, I'm going to have to pull these back in. Other people are going to do them, but, yeah, okay. All right, let's do this. Let's fucking do this. I'm going to have chat open this time. Actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. That'll be distracting. No. Okay. Oh, a sidebar. I am also only doing my listen through. First ever re-listen of Nightmare Detective since I made it, since we did it. It's taking... I've been on and off with it, but, like, I'm up to, the beach arc. The calm before the final storm, basically. I've been slowly going through it. I just, I have so much love for it. Like, but it's only my first time. I don't really listen to a lot of the stuff I do, terribly. So I do need to get better at that. But anyone who's done the beach arc, let me know what you thought of it. All right, let's go. Let's maybe switch this off because this probably isn't the right music. Switch. It is time for the second game. I jumped and spun around, looking at the screen as the logo appeared. A flashy, 90s style font with Japanese kanji underneath it. A thick red tick with flames rushing off the edges, spelling out the name of the game. Demi's Adventure 2. Time is of the essence. Nothing more for it, I suppose. I sat down and got comfortable, reminding myself of the halcyon days of turn-based RPGs, building fun characters and losing myself in fantastical worlds for hours on end. Days would fade to night before I even registered what was going on. Somehow that lost time was nostalgic. We open on a skyline, blackened clouds and a flock of birds flying past. There's a storm coming, and all of nature can feel its impending wrath. The text rolls down the screen as the higher voice provides us with an ominous atmosphere to start the game. It has been 2 years since Demi escaped the land of confusion, going back to their homeland. The days have been lost to them. The nights bring nothing but a momentary respite. They do not know where they came from or where they are going, but their clan have accepted them back nonetheless. Demi has been training tirelessly in order to use the secrets of the Elder's Heirloom, the Time Portal. With this, Demi can finally go back and figure out the truth behind who they are, where their memory has gone, and how to fix all of this. But, as we know, time is a finite thing, and every living creature covets it like nothing else. So Demi must fight for what he desires, a fight that may cost him more than he realizes. The cutscene began, a stormy night situated in a strange, far-off land. Lightning crackled and illuminated 2 individuals sitting on either side of a tatami house. The one on the right imploring with the other to see reason, though their dialogue was never shown or heard, merely their physical actions. Bowing and arms waving as wild eyes pleaded. It was Demi, a more physically imposing Demi. Taller, the limbs now covered in white splotches and adorned with unusual markings. Perhaps tribal. Their left eye a pale gray and the right a luminous baby blue. Their left horn had been cut at the top, 3 to 4 inches shorter than the other, sharper one. They looked like they'd been through hell. Their counterparts sat on the other side, much older, a graying beard hanging from their chin and down to their sternum. The mustache short and pointed outwards, touching the ends of their impressively long and sharp horns. Both eyes were shut, the elder smoking on a sort of pipe, taking a deep exhale of blackened smoke before speaking. Unlike Demi, his words were audible. A gravelly, authoritative voice punctuated the speakers. Call it video game nostalgia, but he almost seemed familiar. Undoubtedly a voice actor I'd heard from another game. I will not advocate for this path, Demi. None of our clan can abide by such decision-making that does not incorporate the feelings of our kin or the long-standing effects on our family's name. You are still young. You do not know what it is you want. Lightning illuminated the screen again. Two imposing figures stood on either side of the elder. One looking to be Demi's twin. Reversed injuries and markings, but almost identical save for the scar running across the side of their head. The other, a shambling man in a lab coat, bloodshot eyes and bared teeth. He looked furious, but the drooling almost gave him a docile appearance. Go out to the family grounds and arm yourself. You must defeat my subordinates, your kin. They are your hopes, your fears, your means to an end. Do this and face me. Defeat all in your path, and I will grant you the freedom to use the time portal and learn about who you truly are. Demi stood up, looking away and out the window as the heavy rain rolled in. He looked forlorn, contemplative and resolute. A fist gripped tight and he turned back, nodding once before walking out of the room. Just one other thing, Demi, the elder called, putting their pipe down and opening his eyes, a bright shade of purple. You may encounter it during your battles. If you do, I'd suggest you hide. It is not a part of our battle, or any battle. It is an embodiment of hatred and hunger. You do not want to get in its way. Understood? Demi nodded and left the room, the two figures either side bowing before disappearing, leaving the elder to look out at the large window overseeing both the storm and, as the camera pans forward, the time portal. Now, we shall see if he is ready to face the truth. He takes a long drag of the pipe, breathing out a thick plume of black smoke that fills the room as the one final word escapes before the screen fades to black. Demi. Now we're on a menu screen. Demi's in the center and 4 squares are around him, only 2 illuminated, that of the subordinates while the other 2 are enshrouded in darkness. If you've ever played Mega Man, you'll know the setup I'm talking about. Your choices from this point forth will determine the results of the test, Switch. Remember that at every juncture, you are making a decision that will impact who you are. Do you understand? Yes. No. I resisted the urge to roll my eyes, knowing full well this was a psychologist's test, albeit a very elaborate one. I typed Y and continued, looking over my 2 candidates and opting for the one on the right, hitting the green button. The Underhand. Dr. Portia was a brilliant scientist who studied many secrets of the mind, but would eventually find something within his research that drove him to unspeakable experiments. A decision was made by the elder to pacify him and keep him close, knowing his research would benefit the family, and that his death would be a massive loss. There is more than one way to defeat the good doctor. You will face him in his lab. Difficulty, medium. Weaknesses, hubris. Continue? Yes. No. Yes, I typed, readying myself for a showdown. The screen faded all the boxes and my current version of Demi made a kicking animation before darting off the screen. When the background came into view, I felt the breath catch in my throat. It was a laboratory, but a 3D rendered one not dissimilar to the sort you'd see on an early Mortal Kombat, but far more detailed. People hung from the walls by great tenterhooks lodged into their pectoral muscles or the backs of their shoulder blades. A permanent look of agony etched across their faces. Women and men were strapped to tables as machines injected them with strange chemicals, their bodies writhing and shaking as flesh tore and new appendages grew from the split wounds, pustules bubbling and popping as less and less of the person they were faded from view. It was a workshop of horror, and I was astounded that something like this made it into a medical psychologist's office. I hadn't even registered the game was awaiting my input to walk over and start talking to the doctor. He was hunched over something in the far right of the screen, rocking back and forth with a small speech bubble showing 3 dots above his head. I didn't want to move forward. I didn't want to know what he was doing. While he himself was pixelated, the background menagerie of horrors was terrifying me enough to keep me rooted to the spot. So the game decided to move forward for me. Demi dashed ahead and spoke to him. I could do nothing as he turned to show the fully rendered top half of a body laying on the ground, the poor soul still trying to grab at their intestines with weakness as the doctor pulled a section of them up, brandishing it like a whip. It was beyond grotesque. Now, if you all don't mind chat, I need to change the music for this bit. And we're going to do... something a bit different. Not that one. There we go. Currently trying to find something. There we go. Found it. I was so close to greatness, Demi. But you came and ruined it. Nobody else has to know what goes on here. That's why the Elder protects me. That's why you have to be stopped. Demi shook his head and pointed to the figure on the ground before pointing at the doctor. In my head, he expressed the disgust I was feeling and vowed to stop him. The screen shifted to a static laboratory background and the battle commenced. I had the ability to attack, defend, talk, or use a special, which was grayed out. Not wanting to waste any time, I chose attack. Demi leapt into the air and smashed into Dr. Portia with a tumultuous thud, cracking him on the jaw. Small flecks of blood appeared on his face as Demi returned to their main spot. He grinned and made his turn. Battle cry appeared on the screen. The same horrific shriek from the last game rang out, less bit crush and more twisted. The sound of a deer crying in the woods with an added madness to it. Dozens of naked, faceless humanoids flooded his side of the screen, surrounding him as their long arms dragged along the floor, damaged feet barely supporting their weight. He was going to use them like a human shield. Defend, I selected, figuring a big attack was coming. And sure enough, I wasn't wrong. The feeding popped up as he shrieked for the pack of these mindless drones to rush towards Demi, quickly overwhelming him as he protected himself while they scratched, punched, and even bit chunks of his skin, tearing at his flesh before rushing away, stripping Demi's hit points by a quarter. Special lit up, and I hovered over it, seeing a myriad of options hidden behind a series of question marks, except one. Bad medicine. A specific special, perhaps. Clicking it, Demi ducked low and began charging. You think you're special, Demi? You're one of many that pass through our doors, and your righteous crusade to learn the truth will not stop me or the Emperor. And your righteous crusade to learn the truth will not stop me or the Elder. He pointed to his head, the pixelated scar across the side. He fixed me.
he can fix you too.
The procedure flashed up as the doctor pulled out a scalpel, the sharp glint complementing his pearly white teeth before he dashed forward, slashing at Demi's gray eye, puncturing it and taking it back to their side, devouring it and recovering their lost health while Demi's dropped to the minimum. One eye looks to the past, one eye to the future. You cannot see the forest through the trees, Demi. Why bother looking for what happened to you? It's in the past. Let's keep it there. Let's keep it with me. Bad medicine activated, and Demi pulled a syringe from their pocket, filled with a strange liquid. Lunging forward, they placed it into the doctor's scar and pushed on the plunger with bad intentions. The battle stopped, and the doctor stood in place, shuddering for a moment, a pulsing in their skull.
The truth isn't what you think it is,
they gurgled before their head popped like a watermelon. Blue and red chunks raining down in the lab as the lights went out, one by one. You have defeated your first enemy. You allowed your disgust and anger to overcome you, but perhaps this person was beyond conversing with, the higher voice remarked, almost lamenting. Your responses thus far have been recorded. Would you like to search for supplies? Yes. No. Yes. I figured it was a waste not to try and upgrade. You never know what the next battle could bring. Demi, clutching their eye, walked forward to their remains and rummaged for supplies. You gained an eye patch, a Dr. Good Doctor pick-me-up medicine, a black scalpel, and a strange fragment. It is a piece of something bigger. 1 eye patch, 1 Dr. Good Doctor pick-me-up medicine, 1 black scalpel, 1 strange fragment. The narrator comments on the strange fragment. It is a part of something bigger. With that, Demi ran off-screen and a small cutscene played, showcasing the lab's horrific experiments slowly fading. The sickening green hue turning to a sterile white, and every notion of suffering erased from the screen. Now, it was simply a normal operating room. Back at the menu, I hovered over to the second subordinate and clicked the green button. The soft call of the grasshoppers and cicadas outside bringing with them a sense of wonderment. The idea of staying up far later than you should be as a child just to play more video games. Despite the ugliness of some moments, this was everything I'd wanted. The shunned. A reflection of oneself is never what we want it to be. Oftentimes, we look for ways to avoid the flaws we see in the mirror. The ones others see in us. We rationalize them away with excuses, toxic positivity, or sheer ignorance. We equate any flaws of ourselves to bad vibes and refuse to recognize those problems. But our reflection does not go away. Rather, it festers, grows, and permeates through our every waking moment, until we can ignore it no longer. Our tulpa will one day come for us all, threatening to engulf all that is good within us, because we didn't take the time to sit down and address it. We are now at that precipice. Demi's reflection. Difficulty, subjective. Weakness, known. Continue? Yes. No. That was intense. I assumed this game would profile me, push me on a visual, audio, and physical level, but even the accuracy of its statements was beginning to take its toll. I had never been good at recognizing a problem until it was too late, or required more work than I could put in. It always seemed that I'd start on one issue before getting sidetracked and working on another. A never-ending stream of problems stacking upon themselves like emotional Jenga. I never knew which piece would bring the whole thing down, so I just left it. Maybe now was as good a time as any to address the proverbial elephant in the room before it started trampling over everything. Yes. Demi shook his head, and the glint of his good eye flashed a brilliant orange for a moment, before once again dashing off screen. When he reappeared, it was in a familiar home. The furniture was different, and the wallpaper wasn't the same pattern, but I knew somehow that I'd been there. That it was my childhood home. Another change. This one's a typical one I've used before. Hope you're all enjoying chat. I'll be checking chat's messages in a minute. I can't tell you how jarring it is to see something in a game you've never played that resembles something so close to your own environment. Even more so when you can't fully picture the home you grew up in, but you know in your heart that this was it. Sure, it had been over 30 years since I'd been in that house, but it was like glimpsing a dream hours after waking from it. Only fragments remained, but the right stimuli would make it clearer. Demi's reflection sat in a chair, reading a brown book with gold engravings. It looked like a photo album. They didn't register Demi's appearance whatsoever. I pushed Demi to walk forward, and as he did, I noticed the screen begin to scroll to the right ever so slightly, a little more with each tentative step. Once Demi was just a couple steps from his doppelganger, I could clearly see what was swinging in the background, its shadow rising and falling across the dining room connected to the living room. It was a body. Demi himself took a step back, and his doppelganger took notice, looking up and putting the book down before standing up and taking a long glance at the body off screen. Couldn't handle it anymore. Said the constant shifting pool of memories left him in a Stygian void. Wasn't able to tell where dusk started and dawn ended. He left a note, but I don't think you want to read that, do you? He turned to face Demi, a forlorn look in his eye while pointing back at the dining room. That's your fate if you carry on down this path, Demi. I'm the side of you that wants anything else but that. Demi shook their head, pleading with both hands. I don't think he wanted to fight, but the doppelganger took a battle stance, and that was that. Instead of hitting attack or defend this time, however, I listened to my character and hit talk. Interesting choice, Switch. If you wish to talk, lean forward and speak into the microphone. Your response will be recorded, but try to keep it from being overly complex. Not what I was expecting, but knowing the purpose of this game, I acquiesced. Listen, I know you're scared of that happening to us, but there's far scarier things out there if we don't try. Of all the people to fight, you should not be one of them. I paused, thinking about complexities and trying to simplify it down. Join me. Fight with me. Become whole. That last one seemed to jolt something because the doppelganger's stance softened. Their expression turned to pity, and they held their arms open. As if ready to merge. Thud. The body from the dining room dropped, and the doppelganger turned just in time to see a husk leap onto the doppelganger and clench its skull in its jaws. They resisted as best they could, arms and legs flailing from a vantage point. But like a tiger catching its prey, one sickening crunch broke through the skull, and the doppelganger fell limp. Past sins come back to haunt. Its red eyes shimmered, and I felt the distinct sensation of being watched. You will remember everything. They slinked back into the shadows with the doppelganger in hand, Demi unmoving as they stared ahead. You gained the doppelganger spirit, double strength, double hit points, and a dose of trauma. you also acquired the second fragmented piece. Your enemy was defeated, though not by your hand. This was unexpected, as many of life's trials can be. Your responses thus far have been recorded. Would you like to proceed? Yes. Back to the menu screen. A worn down and clearly affected Demi waited for my selection, the now ungrayed option for the Elder. The Gatekeeper. Long have our elders dictated the actions of the youth. Sometimes this is for righteous purposes, to safeguard them against the dangers of the unknown, to prepare them for the world with good advice and better actions. They utilize their decades of experience to stop the constant cycle of failure and pain. However, there are times where we must experience the pain of failure, loss, and the terror of the unknown. This is how progression happens. We must all, one day, cast aside our elders, for the young feast upon the old. Difficulty, absolute. Weakness, you. Continue? Yes. No. Yes. No going back now. Demi has acquired a new sense of resolve, born from your own will to survive. Your resting heartbeat showcases a desire to see this through. Demi will now have additional powers as they face the final hurdle. No going back now. A chill ran down my spine as the higher voice said that. I think they're watching me. The screen opened with the same scene of the Elder's room, but Demi cannot see them. Moving along the screen to the left, a small opening can be seen behind the Elder's chair. Running through it, Demi runs down a spiral staircase before coming out on a door to their right. It is grand and with an insignia that I don't recognize. Two basilisks intertwined, faces locked in a death stare, with a great spear skewering the two of them. Unperturbed, Demi pushes open the door and runs through. Once again, we need a music change. Quick check-in chat. How's everybody doing? How are we all feeling? It's good practice to read consistently like this. We once again need a music change. What do we want? Let's do... I've got to yell at this point. By the way, if you're trying to sleep, this is your warning. I'm about to yell. So, yeah, just letting you know. This is what's coming. I don't normally do all the lines at once. This is the fun part of the challenge. So, you're also going to hear clicks because I have to switch my mic around for yelling parts. So you'll hear this noise, and then I'll sound like I'm very far away. So, yeah, fair warning. Okay. Yeah, I mean, when I switch it back to the yelling one, it won't be as loud. But I'm just letting you know. This is going to be a ball ache to edit. I hope you guys appreciate how much of a pain in the ass this is to edit. But it means it's done, so it's worth doing. And also, welcome to Loggerhead Ninja. Oh, we got new people. Welcome Alduin. Welcome, who is this? D? Not D's Nuts. Okay. I did not got any of everybody there, but yeah. Hello, and Walmart Greeter Gabe is going to hopefully be on hand to help you guys and say hello. Let me know what your roles are, and I will sort that out in a little bit as well. I love the fact we've got an Alduin now. Like, that's dope. I hope that is a tribute to Alduin von Trier. Although, if Autumn ever joins, Autumn will be Alduin too. We'll resolve that when the time comes. Yeah, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I have not inserted any ads into this. I was, like, trying to figure out how to do that, where, like, if I needed to go and, like, stretch, take a break or anything like that, but I don't know how that's done. Like, I want to try it, but I don't want to mess around and screw you guys over, is my concern. I assume they're naturally being done, but I'm also like, I'm playing copyrighted music, so that's probably not going to help me. That's why I always say to everybody, if you want to support, and people already support, so please don't feel like going, like, you know, the super chat, I think is a thing that people could do, or the Patreon or whatever. Don't worry about the ad revenue on here. I haven't really thought about it. I could try inserting an ad, but I don't know how it's going to work. Let's just try this for shits and giggles. Okay, there's been an ad inserted. I don't know what that means. I think it's doing an ad now. It's so strange. Chat, I'm going to quickly stretch my legs, so I've been sat down for nearly 2 hours. I will be, like, 2-3 minutes. Grab yourself a drink, and we will return. I'm just going to keep the music playing. Get cozy. I'll be back in 2 minutes. We are back. Got some water, some stretches, and we're gonna carry on with Demi's adventure, which I think means that either probably in a week we'll probably end up having the full thing. Like I probably won't do part 2 and 3 separately. I was thinking about it, but maybe it's better off just doing like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do like a part 2, then a part 3, then a full thing, or just do a full thing? I don't know. Let me know. But that's probably going to be the next project I work on. And I really want to try and get it done soon. I'm traveling a lot the next couple of weeks, but my tour is basically done, so I'm going to be back for a little bit now. I want to try and get content going. So let me know what you think in chat. Hello, Mrs. Chewy. Hello, Jackal of Hearts. Hello, Alpha Pablo, Savior of the Galaxy. Full thing. Yeah, I thought you guys might say that. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do one big old video. I'll always shout people out on the stream log ahead. Always. Okay. Yeah, unrelated, but honestly, like, one goal I've always wanted, and, like, that's one of the reasons I want to try and always keep things open with with like Dusklight is like, obviously it's a horror narration channel with a little bit more extra things. That's why we've always tried to be a bit more niche. That's why I don't mind growing slowly, because I'd rather grow slowly as a result. But God, if you were to tell me like in the future what would be my ideal thing, it would be like one big narration every fortnight. That's like, you know, of a certain skill, because I want to, you know, write more. Nightmare Detectives, streams to hang out, and games. I cannot tell you how much I just want to make videos where I get to play and talk about like video games of a various style and ilk, and I'd love to, and something I'm doing this year is I want to move into essay videos, not probably for here, but like I probably want to narrate and work on stuff. Like I tried it a while ago, but it's such a massive undertaking, and once a channel has its audience, its niche, it's very hard to break from that, and I've already, you know, been easing into other things, but I think doing an essay video would be a bit too much. No, not essay is an, my accent. Essay is an ESSAY, like a long form video content. Stuff like what Horses does with philosophy and history, but also analysis on things like gaming and horror and things like that. But it's not something I'm going to probably do on this channel for a very long time. If I've learned anything from YouTube, it's that when you want to introduce new forms of styles of content and you've got an audience, which, you know, I think it's fair to say 10,000 plus, we've got an audience, and I'm very lucky. When you have an audience, you got to respect that they don't want everything you're putting out there. And I'm not dumb enough or arrogant enough to think that everyone in my audience who is passionate is going to want that. Like, you guys are the most passionate of passionate people that I have, which is incredible. You know, there's like it's like an impact zone. Like the center of that zone is the Dusklight Discord, the Patreon, the YouTube streamers. That's 150, 200 people who are super duper passionate. And then you'll go further out, and the next few thousand will like everything, but they won't say a lot. And then the last few thousand may not be invested. And, you know, at the end of the day, YouTubing is part job, part fun. It's a bit of both. And obviously I'm growing my books and I'm writing new things, trying D&D. So I'm always looking at it from a point of I've got to enjoy what I do while simultaneously ensuring that it's enjoyable for you and it's profitable. It's, you know, I'm very transparent that it's a business. I don't like people who are on YouTube who are trying to sell something and not being honest about it. Like, at the end of the day, capitalism is horrifying. Let's just be real. It is what it is. But it is the reality we live in, you know. And I'm this is my job. Why lie? Why pretend to be overly friendly if I'm not friendly? Which I am friendly, but I don't like inauthenticity. And if I want you guys to buy something I've done, whether it's we're doing Dusklight merch this summer, by the way, long sleeves, vests, caps, all that shit. We'll come back to that later. But if I want you to buy merch, if I want you to sign to the Patreon, if I want you to do anything of my content or mine and Lucy's or the group's brand, I have to be authentic with you, because we live in an age where everybody can smell bullshit from a mile away. And it's cringe. It's just cringe when people do stuff and it's not what they represent as a person, or they're doing it as a chore. Nothing I do on Dusklight is a chore. Everything I choose to do on this channel is of my own volition. I've wanted to stream for a long time, and I just genuinely lack the consistency. Me getting up and doing it is fun, because even if 10 people turn up, bear in mind, go back far enough, I was streaming, there were like 5 people. Now we've got 25 to 35 of an audience of nearly 12,000. I have nothing to complain about. But, like, I do what I want, and that's kind of what drives the channel. And so, you know, I also need to be aware that when I do long-form video content, where if I put up a video analyzing the genius of Darkwood, which it'll always be horror games if I did, I think I have to be very careful how I go into that. I might try one video, just one this year, that's like on a very particular horror game, like, I don't know, like Second Sight, or something that's a bit more niche that no one's really kind of done that nuance before. And if people really love it, then it might be every now and then I'll do it. But obviously the caveat is that that's taking time away from making horror content. So it's, you see what I mean? Like, it's a bit awkward. And I always manage these things. I talk with my group, you know, Amy, who helps, who's going to be helping to manage things on the channel. She's already a mod of the Discord, is an incredible mind, does great marketing, and is helping out some background logistics. Lucy, obviously, is the other half of the channel, and I have that kind of, we have those content conversations, and, you know, there's other people behind the channel besides myself. It is my baby, and I kind of fly by the seat of my pants, like Ronnie. Mofi and Ronnie have no real schedule anymore. We just kind of do what we can when we can do it. But it works, and for him it works very well. But yeah, anyway, I'm waffling. You get my point. Comics beneath the trees where nobody sees. I would. Comics are on the Phyrexian, you nearly caught me. I can't say. Comics are on the docket. That is all I'm going to say right now. Come back to me in like a year, maybe less. Comics are on the docket. I can't say anything else. I can tell you that it is NFC adjacent, because of course it fucking is. But it's Sturgeon, it's comics, that's about all I'm allowed to say. Because the thing is, if I say anything before anything's finalized, I'm speaking into existence something that may not happen. I'm setting expectations. It's not, at the end of the day, a lot of what we do, and this really boils down my point before I can't go back reading, is I have to prove anytime I pitch something, whether that is comics, a book to a publisher, merchandise, or television and movies. Whenever I pitch something, it is under the guise of I have a built-in audience of people that are passionate enough that they will follow it. And we're not there yet. Like, we need a bigger audience than what we have now. But, like, my long-term goals, I'm very open about them. Like, I want to be one of the best independent experimental horror writers from the Western world. I'm not there yet. But, I mean, you listen to Hotel Inertia, and then you listen to Demi's Adventure. They were written 4 years apart. And I think there's a massive difference. And then you read something that I've done, with The Play, or How Long Goodbye, or whatever, and you can see that my work is getting better, and I've got a long way to go, but I want to be that person. But I also want to do more voice work. I have a lot of friends who do stuff for things like Has Been Hotel, Hello My Boss, or work in Funimation, well, not Funimation anymore, Crunchyroll. Obviously Shakira Dunn, who voices Temperance and has done a lot of work for us, is playing the young Nell, obviously is on My Dear Nokatan, has done a few other anime pieces. Like, I'm very blessed to have friends around me who do these things, and I want to get in there without having to ask for too many favors. But to be honest with you, in the next year, 2 years, I very much want to start doing high-end voice work, and the channel is a great way of showing people that I have a built-in audience. That's what you guys represent for me, is I want an authentic, organic platform that is not fudged by bots or by people who don't really care for our values, who don't care for what the Sturgeon universe is about. And I want good people around us who uplift each other. So yeah, anyway, merch is something we'll come back to. We're probably going to have a separate stream for merch, because I'm currently working on the wrestling side of my merch with KNR, my faction, and I need to Dusklight's merch at the same time. It will probably be a limited run, and I will tell you all right now, and I said this months ago, if I run merch, and this is no shade on anybody, I cannot stress what I'm about to say enough, it's not shade on any content creator, but I want my merch to be busy. I want my merch to be worth the money, even if it's a little bit more. I don't like basic ass logo on a shirt merch. I don't like it. I wouldn't wear it. If you follow me on Instagram, I wear a lot of bespoke, bootleg merch. If you want an example of the way that I'm going to do this merch, search up Graveyard Goods, or I think what's the other one? Hold on, the fucking name of it now. Oh god, that's terrible. Graveyard Goods is a good example, though. Oh, that's terrible. I can't remember the other one. It'll come to me. I want stuff where, I've said this before, like, the first merch I run will probably be a version of the Dusklight Radio studio on the back, and then it will have a customized Dusklight Radio intro in yellow font, and it will run along the back, like, most heartfelt greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and it will be a full thing, which is about merchandise, and it will be long as fuck. On the left, it will probably say Dusklight Radio in the yellow font. On the right, it will probably say, see you when dusk enters the station. On the left front, I might keep the front blank. I don't know. Like, a lot of people, I'm going to do a vote. Do people want busy front and back? Just front. But if they wanted a back that's busy and the front simple, then the front will have Dusklight Radio Janitor, because I want to do a bunch of janitor merch. Obviously, if you have a vest, then that works perfectly. The sleeves obviously will be a bit more money. Same with the caps. Like, we have a whole bunch of stuff we want to do. And we're going to do it based on the tier system. Purple Crayon Eaters, the Blackwell family, the janitors. Like, we've just waited because I didn't want to jump into that when we didn't have the resources or the audience. And the audience has been growing wonderfully. And we'll do a limited run. We need to make sure we can make some money on it. Not too much, but... you know, it's something that I'm very passionate about. It's a dream of mine to have merch. We're going to be doing Nightmare Detectives merch as well. We're going to be selling prints of the commission that Gorky did, who obviously, so Gorky did our background. He did the new rigging for Everett. We're going to update Everett and Evelyn's rigging this year. Bit more personalized, and I'm going to commission him to do some more art for us as well, but we'll be doing a run of Nightmare Detective stuff. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to do. Even if only 20, 30 people do it, I don't even care. Like, I'm so excited to do it, and it'll be under one clothing line because I want to run the KNR stuff for wrestling as well, so people who love wrestling and want to support me on that can do that as well. Tank tops will be a big part of it. Jackal, I am a massive tank top person. I work out, and in the summer I love wearing tank tops. I turn my shirts into tank tops all the fucking time. So yeah, that's a little preview in there, but keep that in mind. We will hopefully be launching that in the next month to 2 months, is my hope. It is just a matter of getting a good distributor, because the tariff situation is going to be difficult. The books that I've sent out, the last batch, people who bought anything in the last book run, the last 4 to 5 weeks, if it's not there yet, I have like trackers. It will be the tariffs, but well, hopefully you'll be getting those in the next few days. I would hope so. Please keep me posted if you haven't had them in the next week, please. And Forest Walker, wait, there's a story about the hotel written and about to be released. The Hotel Inertia, I've read the first chapter. I wrote it back in 2019. And I'm just going through reading bits of it because it was the 10,000 subscriber challenge, and we've then grown nearly 2,000 since then because I forgot. So we'll be doing that, and that'll be going up sometime in the next month or two, and we're also reading Demi's Adventure. I'm actually going to change the stream name because that's there. Clue, that is a fucking great idea. I love that so much. Y'all ready to meet Pain Jesus? I think that's a great idea. So, I'm going to create a channel on the Discord. I'm going to do it with Amy. I'm actually going to do it right now. And I want all your ideas. It's going to be in the art corner. And it's going to be Sturgeon. Actually, it's going to be Dusklight. Merch. Ideas. And I genuinely want to see whatever ideas you have. Everyone can comment in there. Put them in their Clue. That's fucking fantastic. If anyone does, I'm going to also say, if anyone does a merch idea that we stick with, they will get a free copy of that merch piece. So Clue, more than likely we'll do that sticker if we can get a good artist. You'll probably get a free copy of that. I think that's only fair. If you get the idea, you should get a free copy of it. And we'll also mention on the sales shop that it was suggested by that person. Clue Blackwell suggested that, so it will go there. Forrest, I've been a fan of the channel for 2 years, and I love the work you do with Ronnie, Rom, Next, and Lucy. Thank you so much. Ronnie, for those who do want to know, Ronnie will be putting up a video very soon. We're working on stuff in the background. Rom is okay. Rom is doing good. I don't want to speak on what Rom wants to do and whatnot, but we love Rom very much. We hope that they return, or she returns soon. And Lucy's obviously Lucy. Lucy is currently, I think, doing something work-related, and I'm actually looking at hanging out with them and Attic in a little bit. But we've still got another hour or so to go. I want to do a good 3 hours today, and actually the streams will probably be about that normally. I have debated as well, with more people joining, doing a goal. I don't want to make everything a monetary gain. But obviously, when I use music for these things, they will get copyright claims. So I might do that at some point. Not today. I've put off doing it for every stream we've done, but I might do it down the line as a sort of like, thing for people. But we'll see. But anyway, thank you for checking out the merch ideas. So, in fact, actually, let me just quickly put that in there. Suggestions for future Dusklight merch. Any winning choice will be credited, and a copy of that merch sent to Suggester free of charge. There we go. So, I think we've got some really cool ideas. We'll probably do a run every few months. So maybe I'd love to do like a whole line of clothing every maybe 3 to 6 months. It just depends on how well it all does, but we'll see. Last question, do you plan doing more with Autumn Ivy? I absolutely do. Autumn and I spoke a little while ago. There are some things that I've pitched that are not Dusklight related. Yes, we absolutely do. If and when I do NFC on this channel, Autumn will reprise that role. There is a role coming up in the book that I am going to get Autumn to play. And there's something else I'd like Autumn involved with. But yes, Autumn and I have known each other for many years now. One of the most incredible human beings. Just a remarkable person with such drive and passion, and will never not want to work with Autumn. So yes, there's more coming up. Okay. Yeah, see, I like the music. If I'm honest, the only reason I like the music is it gives me a bit of clarity and peace, because sitting in a room in my house on my own with no music freaks me out. But this is like why I use the ambient stuff. So, yeah, don't worry. Like, as I said, earning money from these is not the be-all, end-all. It really doesn't matter that much. It's nice to have the goal, and, as I said, I've tried to always be authentic and not too cynical. But, I might put those out every now and then. I don't know. I don't want to put pressure on people, so we'll see. But we're getting more views, so if you're just joining us, welcome. If you go back in the stream, I was reading Hotel Inertia Part 1. We've discussed some things coming up for the channel. We've had a little chat about future products, some merch, and I'm in the middle of reading Demi's Adventure Part 2. I might read Demi's Adventure Part 3 on this stream as well. I'm not too sure. But I love this, man. It's so nice to sit and hang with everybody. I'm absolutely going to be doing these. So again, just a reminder, these are normally on Tuesdays, same time, 7 p.m. EST. If you want me to do later, or you want me to do earlier, tell me what you think is better time-wise. I am happy to do it. It's all-nighters for me anyway. Thursdays are still going to be game streams. They may not be as consistent. It just depends. And after this stream is over, I will be uploading or putting public the next Nightmare Detectives episode. I apologize. I thought I did that on Monday. So, with that being said, it's about to get heavy. It's about to get into a boss fight, folks. An NFC Hawaiian shirt is fucking crazy. I don't even know how I would get a artist for that, but I will look into it. That is such a great idea. Holy shit. A Sal Sabota Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that we're going to come up with is going to be stickers. So we're going to need artists for this, I think. Me and Lucy will have a town hall meeting and we'll talk about it. Don't worry about my sleep schedule. I never sleep. Justice never sleeps. So I'm happy to do a bit later. It really doesn't bother me. It's whatever works. Yeah, okay. No problem. Let's get back into it. Oh boy. A grand whoops, no, I haven't even pushed enter yet, sorry. A grand chamber with a well in the center greets Demi as they move across the screen. On the other side is the Elder, conducting some sort of spell as this large pit comes to life, smoke and light coming from its depths. You bested one of my subordinates and absorbed the other. Now there is nothing to stop you but me. He put his hands down and walked over to the edge of the well, looking across at Demi. Your path is one of pain, ruin, and blasphemy. You spit in the face of every ancestor. This is not our way, Demi, but your resolve cannot be ignored, so we will settle this here. Defeat me, and you will gain access to the time portal. Demi said something, arms circling in a grand motion and pointing to the well. This is the pit of despair. This is where every lost, confused soul who fails to do what they set out to do ends up. Those who did not achieve focus in life will wander here, become a part of the miasma, of the suffering, of the Stygian void. You will end up here too, should you fail. The elder raised his hands once again, and the well sprung to life. A column of light sprung up and pierced the ceiling above, sending chunks of rock and ore to the ground, exposing the dismal night sky full of raging thunder and lightning. Hail rained down upon the pair as the column's outer edges were encircled with the faces of the damned, screaming and begging for release. I could hear them over the music, the rain, the thunder. Some of them almost sound as if they were calling, pleading to me. The battle started, and the elder went first, attacking me with a lightning bolt while talking. You think only of yourself, of your needs. You do not wish to see the sun rise tomorrow, before it has even set today. Your head is filled with idealistic nonsense of what could be, not what is. I will set you right. I will cleanse you. The bolt struck with great force. I felt a rumbling in my hands and felt a tingling rush up my fingers. Demi was hit for 75 hit points, a third of their health. You don't know anything. You understand absolutely nothing. I found myself spitting those words with such passion and venom, but why? What stake did I have in this other than beating the game? Attack. Demi grabbed the dark scalpel and, after flipping it in their hand to grab the edge, hurled it at the elder, striking him in the shoulder for similar damage. The elder dropped to a knee for a moment, pulling out the scalpel before standing up. Judgment flashed up. The elder rising from the ground and floating, arms out in a casting motion. I will not be beaten by an uppity whelp who does not consider how his kin feels. Did you consider that of your mother, of your siblings, me? We care too. You dishonor us all. I will bring you back to your senses, even if it takes your soul in the process. With both hands outstretched, he grabbed at the arc and began manipulating it towards Demi, sending the entire thing in his direction with such force that it temporarily covered the screen in a bright flash. When it was over, Demi lay on the ground, motionless. No, it can't be over, I breathed, hands shaking as I held the joystick. I have to know what happens. What do I do? You have the item switch. You just need to use it, the higher voice replied. Brushing aside what concerns I already had, adrenaline took hold, and sure enough, I was able to select an item from the baggage. Dr. Good Doctor's pick-me-up. Once selected, a small spotlight fell down upon Demi and raised his limp body to the ground. A bizarre sort of angel floated down, kissing him on the lips and reviving him to full health. You will always have one person who believes in you. I love you. A soft, lilting voice broke through the speakers, and I felt my lip quiver. But I knew what I needed to do. Special. Sorry, chat, I need to switch the song again. I'm going to go with something a little bit cringe. Only one option was available. Forgiveness. Demi dropped his weapons and adopted a neutral stance, opening his arms and walking towards the elder. They fired projectile after projectile, but nothing would hit Demi. One particular volley bounced off of Demi and struck him in the face, knocking him to the ground in a heap. But Demi continued to walk towards him as the elder backed away, terrified, until Demi was directly in front of him, holding out a hand and lifting him up, before pulling him into a hug. I didn't need to know what Demi was saying to understand. It was over. He forgave him. With that, the battle ended and the elder stepped away. Back turned to Demi. I cannot deny such resolve. You have shown me that there is another path forward. One that I could not foresee. He threw the final fragment towards Demi and turned, a tear in his eye. Love and forgiveness. I hope you find what you're looking for. The screen was bathed in red as something began crawling overhead. A scuttling of many limbs and flecks of drool dropping to the ground. The elder fell back again and looked up. Oh, it is here. Demi, you must leave. This will consume you if you let it. You will spend an eternity in the void. You must go. Use the fragments, now! Demi took a single step forward before the shriek erupted, threatening to break my speakers. Run appeared on the screen once again. This time giving me full control of Demi as something unspeakable began crawling overhead. I jerked the joystick with all the force I had to the left, and Demi began sprinting back up the stairs as this thing followed him. A video game from this era should not have been able to replicate the sounds I heard, let alone release them for anyone to hear. This was inhuman. Before long, Demi was back at the starting screen, and the grounds were overhead. Without thinking, I pushed the joystick up and watched him jump out as a gnarled hand broke through the wall to grab him. Peeled skin and torn fingernails desperately tried to claw at him, but missed by a few inches. I felt sick just looking at it. It didn't fit with the rest of the game at all. The screen shifted and Demi ran towards a large obsidian pillar in the heart of the grounds, a large orb missing from its center. The fragments escaped from his pockets and floated around him before forming a beauteous pearl that glistened in the night sky, floating up above him and inserting itself into the monolith, creating a chain reaction of sounds and lights that drove whatever horror was chasing Demi away. A doorway opened up, one that I couldn't see as Demi took tentative steps towards before finally leaping through as one final animalistic shriek erupted from the unseen boundaries of the game. At least, my initial thought was it was the game. But when I stepped away to stretch and try to exit the room, to grab another drink, that same scream seemed to come from outside in the hall. I couldn't tell if it was just an echo or my imagination, but there was intent behind it. Someone wanted me to hear it. I felt the urge to walk to my door, to pull on the handle and investigate. With every step I took towards that sterile white door, I felt a vibration reverberate through me, growing in ferocity as I got closer, like a metal detector nearing a hidden prize. Hand gripped the door handle as the higher voice began speaking again. Switch. You must complete the third and final game. The journey is not yet over. And that's part 2, baby! Alright, I'm gonna check back on chat. Ugh. I'm getting congested as all hell. And that yell sucked. Okay. Doing more Demi, remember those days going along. Yeah, I love that. I love that story. It's been like quite a while. It's really intense on that channel. Like Ronnie did a really good job, but I've always wanted to do my own version. It's not readable anywhere. It's gonna be on my website. Like again, once I've moved it on, like, and get everything set up, I think I'll put it there. I think that'll be probably what I'll do. But that's why, like, if you search Demi's Adventure, you will only find mine and Ronnie's for that. It's 500,000 hits as well, which is crazy. It's 2 years old in July, which is insane. Yeah. It's very uplifting. I do like it. A Dr. Good Doctor sticker for my first aid kit. That's great. Now the question is, do I want to... Because we probably could just do the rest of it, couldn't we? How many pages have I got left? I've got 17 pages to go. I've read... how many have I read so far? I read from 9 to 20. So, I did 11, and I could probably do another. Yeah, I could. I could, couldn't I, guys? I mean, I could. Hi, Silvercrone. I mean, we're getting more people, so I think I'm probably going to finish up. So, take 5 minutes, and then we'll read the third and final part of Demi's adventure. Ooh. Oh, boy, why am I doing this to myself? I've got a water break. I got my big bottle of water with me. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm surprised Jimmy's never listened to Nightmare Detective. Just read the chat. That's so surprising to me. But yeah, thank you, Ethan. I really think my music choices are like one of the reasons I'm so proud of it. Is like I was so willing to just not get money from it. I was like, I don't care about copyright. Like, there's only so much good music you can have, and one of the things that attracted me to being a DM was like, and I don't mean anything bad by this, but like I just didn't like a lot of the incidental fantasy music people would use whenever I would see other games, and you know that's because they're not putting it out to other people. But I loved being able to have a moment which was punctuated by Hosier or Sleep Token or whatever. Like I was such a fan of that, and that's why I kind of want to keep that's why I want to keep like doing it. I've got no plans to stop doing that. Yeah, the finale was like so fucking heavy emotionally. Okie dokie. Let's have a little look. Need to get a new big bottle. I work construction in a 1 gallon bottle. A 1 gallon bottle is crazy. Like, that's to quench a big thirst. I've currently just got some flavored water. Fun TJ trivia fact. Cannot drink plain water. Not because I don't want to. I need to stress this. Because I understand that it's water and I should be able to. I was never given water as a kid. For whatever reason. It just wasn't something that, like... I had growing up. I had juice, I had milk, but never plain water. So when I got to like 10 or 11, I remember I was having a sports day at school. My teacher was kind of a dick, and she was like, "Oh, you can have water," and I was like, "No, I'll probably throw it back up." And she just didn't have it. Gave it to me. Puked everywhere when I was doing the run that day. Very embarrassing in front of the girl I liked. And it took me until I was like 18, where I was like, I need to have water in my diet because this is not healthy. And then I started having sparkling water. And I worked out a fair bit then, not realizing that when you take sparkling water, because it has potassium sorbate, it's fizzy, and you work out, that's a puke central problem. And then a couple years later, I got onto flavored water, and now I pretty much have that all the time. I drink so much water now, just to kind of count. Because I have one energy drink per day, normally, unless I have an all-nighter, and that is terrible for your diet. But because I have so much water, I've never had any trouble. Luckily, yet, touch wood. But the energy drink I have, another reason I probably wouldn't move to the States among many, the energy drink I have, might be an autism thing, very particular about. And I can't get it outside of the UK. Like, it's literally by the Coca-Cola company. It's called Relentless. And, like, if ever I opened a P.O. box, I would just be like, people send me Relentless. That's all I want. I don't care. But, like, I can't get that anywhere. I've tried Monster. It's fine. I've had the Mango Loco and the Australian Lemonade. They're cool. The rest of Monster, no thank you. Red Bull reminds me of being at university. It's just fucking gasoline. No thank you. But Relentless to me tastes like berries. So it's quite nice. But, I can't get it anywhere else I go. So, yeah, no, I got my water. Then that is an insane amount of water, 1 gallon. I will also say this, just for anyone who needs to hear this, very important. Everyone's like, oh, you need to drink this much water, that much water. You drink how much you need. Your body will tell you how much you need. It's so not, it's not universal. Because it's all down to, your stomach contents, your bladder. But, the idea that people need to drink a certain amount is not true. You should drink water and you should keep hydrated, but hydration is relative, right? It's not about trying to match it. Like I've seen so many people like, oh, I need to have like 750 milliliters, and I'm like, you really don't. Like if you're in the sun all the time and you're dehydrated, sure, you should have some, but don't have it if you don't want it, because you'll just be sick and you'll need to pee a lot. Like, just because some Fitfluencer says you should, or like when they have those bottles where they mark the lines, like keep going, it's like, no. Never force yourself to eat or drink if you don't want to eat or drink. Your body is yours. It's not for other people to dictate on it. And that means if you want to keep eating more, you eat more. Like, do what makes you feel healthy, or at least functional and comfortable. If we start to turn food and eating into chores, then what is the point of living? Like, I feel very passionate about this because, like, I've been where a lot of people have been. I've worked a dead-end job. I've worked a job that didn't appreciate me. And sometimes the only comforts you get are the rest you get in between, playing some games with friends, and having a nice meal. Now, you can't always get fast food. You can't always have the bad foods, but fucking enjoy what you eat. Don't let anybody tell you what you should or shouldn't be eating, because then it's taking away another comfort. And for some people, having a slightly greasy sandwich, a healthy breakfast, and maybe skipping breakfast and a healthy dinner, and a greasy sandwich for lunch, that's a comfort. And some fucker going, oh, well, she shouldn't have that. You should be eating these shiitake mushrooms that taste like shit. It's like, nah. Like, be healthy if you can, but don't worry if you can't. Life is too fucking short. I don't know what comes after this. None of us really know. And in my mind, if someone thinks they know, they're trying to sell you something. But faith is very important. So if you've got the faith, I respect that. But we don't know. What we do know is that this is what we have. And we have to give up so much of our time and for stresses of other things, for bills, for other people, for mistakes we make, for mistakes other people make. Eating and drinking and just relaxing are about being present. Like, if you could cook your own food, please do. It is such a joy to make your own food, to just have it there and sit down. Like, I'm not going to get into the mechanics of, like, hunt. We don't hunt here, but I understand why people hunt. I don't always like it, but I get the point of it, I suppose. But, like, whatever you do, however you, like, it, whether you get fast food and that's your thing, whether you make a meal prep if that's your thing, whether you hunt and kill, whether you eat plant-based, whatever you do, just don't let anyone ruin that for you. Like, enjoy that shit. For me, a comfort for me that I do all the time is I have a rule. Cold drink with my meal. Usually something fizzy. That's just a personal thing, but it can always be water. A cold drink. Whatever meal I'm having might be a baguette with some various cheeses and some rocket, or a fast food, whatever it is, and I watch something. Yes, I'm a fucking Gen Z fucking failure of a person with no attention span. We had TVs before iPads. Don't listen to the media. But I love watching something while I'm eating. Might be educational, might just be Bob's Burgers, which is my comfort show, but it's my time. I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care how bad my day is. My lunch or my dinner or my breakfast are my time, and I cherish that shit. And I would say for any of you who work very tough jobs, which I'm sure everyone here does, that's your time. And obviously you could tune to Dusklight Radio. You can absolutely tune to Dusklight Radio, but sometimes it's good to just have something nice, And apparently this has become a food chat, but I'm very passionate about this. I believe very strongly, because I know that so many people either have to or want to work a job that doesn't have any future prospects, and that's fine. We need people who are working regular labor. Labor is the backbone of society. Agriculture is the backbone of society. Food is the backbone of society. So there are many people who are like, I don't mind working at construction because fuck it, I couldn't do it, or like food or whatever, and they're happy to do it for 40 years. But those people deserve our love and respect and cherishment more than almost any other, aside from, I would say social workers and people who work with disadvantaged people and people in hospitals, because those people burn out quicker. The job is exhausting. The hours are brutal. People look down on it. And I'm such a big believer, find your pleasure. Find your enjoyment where you can. If someone judges you because your day off, you're sleeping all day, fuck them. If someone judges you because you're spending your day off painting Warhammer figures or going to a con or just being lazy, fuck them. Don't live for anybody's approval. If you're paying your bills or you're trying to pay your bills, because it's fucking hard out there, guys. Like, if you're not paying your bills right now and you can't, don't let anyone judge you for that either. We're all fucking struggling. If you're surviving every single day, if you're getting through every day, you deserve something. It doesn't have to be monetary value. It can just be time on your own, mindfulness. If you're a parent, I can only imagine how limited your time is, but you deserve time to yourself. Take it from me, and I'm still young, but like, I remember being in a very bad job, and I was like 23, and I remember thinking what everyone at that age thinks. And it was only 9 months. It was like, the rest of my life, I'm going to wear this shitty outfit. I'm going to have to hide my tattoos, hide my personality, make no money. And yet, even then, every day, and this is a mantra I live by, whenever my head hits the pillow, since I was probably 16 years old, no matter how bad it was, the last thing I do for about 45 minutes, even if I'm a little bit sleepier in the morning, is I will watch something, I will listen to something, I'll read something, or I'll think about something that is completely separate to my stresses of life. So in the same way that you should let your food be enjoyable, your food time, try, if you're struggling with stress, try and do it where you know, obviously switch off the phones, all that shit, you know that. You don't need me to fucking tell you. But try and do something that's separate to everything, because when you have stressful dreams, it's your brain compartmentalizing all the things in the day that have bothered you on a conscious and subconscious level, and your sleep's health is worse. Again, don't buy into the shit of, oh, you got to get no more than 9, but less than 8, all that. Again, yes, health studies. Sleep however long you need to sleep. I personally sleep for 2 hours, and then I will do that in a cycle, and then I'll get 16 hours. Like, I'm weird. I've done that since I was 12. Doctor says it's fine. Sleep however long you want to sleep, but do something at the end of your night, with or without your partner, that is nothing to do with bills, to do with relationships, to do with whatever is plaguing you. And I promise you, your sleep will start to get better. Take back that time for you. So important. So fucking important. You're never too old or too young to learn that. And yeah, I mean, 16 hours of sleep is amazing, except when you're, like, I have a very strong bladder. I don't get up and pee in the night, ever, and I wake up, and it feels like I am going to die. My whole lower back is on fire, but it's lovely. Sleeping in cycles is not always the best. Again, I do that because that's how I'm built. Like, I've gone to a sleep clinic and everything. They said it's fine. It's also because of how I work with this, you know, I'm very blessed that, you know, acting, writing, all that shit is my job. So I work late hours, I'll then research, and I'll sleep for a little bit. It depends on what takes my brain. But, yeah. Anyway, sorry, chat. It just really, it's a very important thing to me, and if I have a community, I want to give good advice. You know, I'm just a fucking dude with a microphone who tells scary stories. You shouldn't come to me for any major advice, but if I'm gonna give life advice, that's the advice I want to give. Love each other, respect each other. Don't get caught in the way the world is going right now, because we're on a downswing into hateful rhetoric and ignorance. Don't get caught in that. Choose to just learn as much as you can about the world around you if you don't understand it, and enjoy your life, as hard as that is. But yeah, Clues, right, it's not good math to have 3 days a week. You hate to live 1 day a week longer. Fucking preach. Mike, I'm either usually a grape or a bombsicle. I don't know what a bombsicle is, Mike. Please tell me. I'm glad you put in a few faucets. A beef Wellington for Exonin. That's... Oh! Please bring me to your food, to your cookouts. Please. The Purple Spring Red Bull here in America tastes like the soda Squirt. You may not... Okay, no one tell Alex about the jokes about Squirt we make in Nightmare Detectives as time goes on, because Victor Mendoza's favorite drink is Squirt. You're going to have some fun with that. Silver Crone, just be careful about chucking a whole lot of water at once. That's only caution attached to that. Yes to the body, no. Yes, water intoxication, super dangerous. Yeah, don't chug. And even when you're dehydrated, it's actually, you're better off just doing little sips. If ever you get caught in the desert, in any heat stroke situation, little sips, no big ones. Liquid Death is the best water. I know about Liquid Death. I've never had it, so I need to look at that. Body knows what it wants. Also for good cooking. Yes, true. Chainsaw Man is incredible. Can't wait for later this year. Wonderful place for us running such a wind down. See, writing is good. Journaling is very good because we've lost the art of putting our thoughts pen to paper. I think notes are still fine. I don't think it's as bad. I'm a writer and I do not write with a pen very often, to be completely honest with you. That's terrible to admit, but yeah, I think just journaling in some capacity is very, very important. Yeah, sleep on the cool side of the pillow, 100%. I made a chick mad by bringing in deer jerky, and she ate some. She said it was delicious, but I thought it was deer. Yeah, would have thought Jay said it was made out of nuclear waste. I guess some people are just, they kind of find, they get freaked out by stuff like that. I get it. I think some people just have different perspectives on animals, but I've had deer. I personally do draw the line at some animals, but that's just me. Like, I don't believe in black and white. I understand that hunting in some aspects is important. Like, we do fox hunting here and I hate it. Because it's a cruel sport. It's not done for anything other than the pageantry of rich oligarchs doing it for enjoyment. I understand that if you have elk or deer and you've got an area where they need to be taken out, I get it. I don't get it as a non-American, but I get it, and I'm not gonna pretend like I can be ignorant to it. I love making my buffalo chicken wraps and steak quesadillas. Nice, Forrest. Nice, very nice. Firax, if I'm in Italy this December. I'll think about it, bud. I'll let you know. We'll see if we do a meetup or something with a bunch of people. When I was in welding school, I'd smash a gallon of water because it was exactly. You're in a shop. It's stifling. It's hot. Again, it's all about environment. But again, if your body wants a gallon of water, it'll tell you. You nailed it. You nailed it. The foxes are so fucking cute. They are. It's pretty much, I think it's regulated now, but like fox hunting was banned for a long time here. And the average Brit doesn't like people. We have a big problem with classism here, and we hate the rich. They're called toffs, Tory toffs, and we just don't like it. It's cruel. It's just dogs who bully and corner the foxes, and yeah. I mean, we have foxes here, like urban foxes and nature foxes. Just leave them alone. Just leave them alone. Don't bother them. They won't bother you. Simple as. Backstrap steak is phenomenal. Okay. I'm gonna let you guys chat about that. I have no idea, but we're gonna start Demi in a minute. I apologize for the rant, but you guys are just on a food chat. I love it. This is now a food call. Congrats, gang. All right. Let's get ready for more Demi. Okay. Oh, Everett and Evelyn on both sides. That's pretty cool. Minting coins sounds tough, though. I won't lie. That does sound tough. All right, let's see. What do we want for the third part of Demi's adventure? You will also be pleased to know, actually, do I want to announce this? Yeah, fuck it. The next 4 parts of the book are done. There's only 2 left to go. And I will be releasing the next part, most likely The Last Giant Under the Mountain, as it's called. That'll probably be going up after Demi and probably after Tortoises. I don't know the order of the schedule, but right now we have a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm going to do a couple of, short stories from like people like Renee Rain and Jam Franz, maybe one of mine, just to keep content going out. But most likely the next big project, Demi's Adventure will be the next big project. I'll then either finish up the bar or I'll finish up Tortoises, and then it'll be chapter 7, The Last Giant Under the Mountain, which is about an hour and a half, and that is my journal Lord of the Rings style piece. So if you like, the little preview I'll give you is that it's basically It's very hard translating these into audio, I will say. But the way it's done on like a geo site. So we're following the elder patriarch of the family, Oliver Gehart, who we, at the end of the play, obviously it says to my grandchild Lux, and Oliver was the one who translated it. Oliver's the grandfather. We're following his Geosites website. I wanted to give a tribute to Ted the Caver, for those who don't know. Ted the Caver being one of the original, really good creepypastas. It was hosted on Angel Fire. Now, I'm a little bit too young for Geosites and Angel Fire, but I have a bit of an enjoyment for those old websites. So this story takes place in three kind of different places. The website in 2000, where Oliver has been putting up his journals. Some comments left by a pilgrim in 2024. And the journals in the 1970s and 1980s. And it is about Oliver, Arthur, and Archie, three friends of the Gehart family, going towards a place called Octan. They're trying to find the last giant under the mountain, and we will find out, at this point in the book, we find out what all this is about. What are the powers? What is all the connection? Where does this all go? Very excited, and I've tried to make it a bit like, diary entries mixed in with Lord of the Rings. It's been very fun to write, and things ramp up very quickly after that. We then have 3Bs in all of Europe, which is my Disco Elysium inspired piece, where we actually get to spend time with Lux. That is an incredible, it's probably my favorite chapter. And then chapter 8 is Shark Tank, which I read a bit of on here if you were here for that stream. That is the most intense of the chapters. It's just all dialogue. And then we've got chapter 9. Chapter 10, which is the big twist. Choose your own nightmare. So we've got some fun coming up, gang. I think we've had a few people drop in, which is crazy. Hello, new people. There's a second of Demi. No, sorry, Mike. I apologize. I'm reading part 3. I did it in like 3 separate pieces. Obviously, it's one big video on Dark Somnium, but part 1's already out. Obviously, that was the first game. We just recorded the second game, which was the turn-based JRPG, and the third game is the VR experience. So I'm going to do that one in a moment. Challenge coins became hugely popular. Okay, I'll think about that, Jack. I'll put that in the chat, you guys, if you could, and we'll discuss that as a group. Glad you guys are excited for the for Last Giant. I'm so pumped to have this book done. My hard deadline, because I have to send it to the editor for the book version, the hard deadline is August, and I need this done by then because I really want to start writing the story about my dad and move on. This has taken 3.5 years of my life. And again, I've said this before, but the Bar series was written in 8 weeks. NFC was written in 10 weeks. Last Sin Eater was written in 6 weeks. Beneath the Stack was written in 12 weeks. I've never spent so long on anything in my life, which means obviously I'm getting better, because projects should take longer. But the most famous works I've ever done were done in a standard school semester, which is not great. But anyway, okay. Let's get down to business. I think there's also an Eminem track, but I am too milk toast white to rap that. Okay. Also, the voice I'm going to do for Truman was always... I had Vidith do it for the Dark Somnium piece. I might have him do it again, but Truman, in my mind, my headcanon, is voiced as David Attenborough, Sir David Attenborough. And I'm putting this on the record now. He is my biggest hero next to Terry Pratchett. David Attenborough made me the person I am. Arguably the greatest conservationist the world has ever seen. The most iconic voice out of the UK. Incredible human being. I love nature the way I do because of him. And I have a very sort of strong feeling that, he is coming to the end of his life. He's 98 years old now. He's about to release in cinemas his new Ocean documentary. Please go and see it. Tickets go out on May 3rd, I think. And then it'll be simulcast on Hulu and Disney and all that. Even he says he's coming to the end of his life, and I'm ready for it. But man, he's like my grandfather. Like, he's like to us in the UK, he's the nation's grandfather. And when we lose him, it's gonna fucking suck. But Truman is my tribute to him voice-wise. I don't know why I had to say that, but I just have so much love for him. I might watch a nature documentary when I'm off stream later. I don't know. I'm in the mood. My favorite, by the way, if anyone has any recommendations, I love insect documentaries. There's something really cozy about the micro world. Even though bugs are creepy and icky, I get all that, and they can be when they're near you sometimes, but I love learning about them. And my first ever documentary with David Attenborough when I was a little boy was Life in the Undergrowth. I think I would have been maybe 9, 10 years old at the time. I'm going to check, actually, because I think it was... oh, wait, no, sorry, excuse me. Life in the Undergrowth was 2005. So I was 14, so it must have been before that. I don't know now, without checking. But yeah, I'm just such a fond memories of him. But anyway, I'm waffling. Let's get into the final hurdle, gang. I almost didn't want to turn around. There was a strange whooping and hollering from down the hall. It sounded almost inviting. But something inside me pushed me towards the cabinet, and I sat down again. Please press the button on the right side of the cabinet to unlock the immersion device, it said, as if this was something I'd naturally know about the third game. Hands felt around the side for a button I was certain had not been there when I built the damn thing. I almost felt overconfident in my assessment, until fingers brushed over a thick black button made of a far different material to the normal arcade springy buttons on the top. I pushed it with some degree of force and heard a panel above move around as a pair of VR goggles and a controller descended from within. For the final game, full immersion is required. Your results thus far have been recorded and will be used to ensure a smoother journey. When you are ready, please select Y on your controller. This was a bit much. Again, I sat up and paced around my room, unsure if this was a level of immersion I wanted, given the things I'd seen thus far. Sure, I wanted to get the full experience, but what if it were too much for me? As I paced, the game continuing to flash, I heard a dull thump against my door, freezing me to the spot. Hello? Mr. Mallard, is that you? I called, hoping it was my elderly neighbor. I hadn't seen him in some time, but he occasionally got the apartments wrong and tried to get into mine. No answer. Another thud, this time with more force and the sound of something crunching under the pressure. Hello? You alright? Maybe she's having a bad trip, I mumbled under my breath, realizing it might be Sadie, my other neighbor. She was a recreational user and suffered from some debilitating mental health issues. Not a good combo. I once found her in the fetal position in our hallway, peeling at her skin and saying it wasn't the right layer to make her feel fresh enough. More thuds, the door holding fast but shaking more with each successive thud as something trickled down the side and pulled under the gap between the floor and the bottom of the door. I'm calling the police, I yelled, trying in vain to look for my phone but realizing it was in my car. Or was it at my mother's? Shit, I couldn't remember. A few moments pass. There is a scuffle and someone screeching as two voices try to calm them down, wrenching them away from the door. I don't like him. He's a mysterious one. Never answers questions the same way twice. He's a spy, they said, as their voice grew more distant. Sorry about that, Mr. LeBay. We'll get this straightened out. You go back to enjoying your game. Have a nice evening. The voice was pleasant, familiar, but I had no peephole with which to see them and had zero desire to find out if it was another trick. The fact they knew my name was concerning, but could they hear the game? Had they been spying on me this whole time? I turned back with suspicion in mind and looked around the room, spotting no cameras or bugs. Though I suppose if they were good, they'd hide them in plain sight. Nothing more for it, I suppose. I'm not going outside with that mess still going on, and I have nothing better to do, so why not? I put the goggles on, got comfortable, and picked up the controller, feeling like a kid with his first Super Nintendo on Christmas Day. I maneuvered over without any issue and hit Y, like I'd done this before. I suppose when you play games long enough, they all have a sense of familiarity, huh? The screen went blank, and I was put into a first-person perspective of Demi, laying on a grand king-size bed with arches that stretched into the darkness as the higher voice spoke. You are Demi. It has been many moons since you escaped the land of confusion and battled for your right to the time portal. Now you are back where it all began. It is time for you to uncover the truth behind your origins, behind the fractures. Demi's Adventure 3, Memento Mori, is about to begin. I moved my head around and used the controllers like appendages. If you've seen a VR headset, you'll know what I'm referring to. I moved my hands and inspected them. Great obsidian branches with clawed hands, 3 on each side and sharp nails. The legs are long and muscled with large blocks for feet. No toes. I turned around in bed and observed my surroundings. Total darkness. This is the second time it has happened. The second time the glitch took effect. You do not recall the first. You were asleep, dreaming of unusual things and fantastical adventures as one is wont to do. But you were awoken by the sound of the owls at your window. On cue, I heard them. The owls sounding as if they were next to my ears. I snapped my head up and looked towards the now manifested window. A pair of white owls sitting on a lone branch, watching me. They wanted to check in on you. Make sure you weren't about to forget what happened. You didn't forget, did you, Demi? They grow in size, their plumage growing brighter as the heads spin and turn far beyond what they should be able to. I shield my eyes as the brightness is borderline blinding, right as a smashing sound hits the window. A trail of blood dragging down the side as the owl drops out of sight, the right one in disbelief. The first game, I breathed. You decided that it was time to get up and explore the rest of the house. Perhaps your roommate knows more. A small checklist appeared on the right side, the main quest being speak to the gibbon, and the side quest being search for the next glitch. I walked past the window and into the darkness, the world building around me and a pathway to my door opening up. I opened it and stepped into a bright, vibrant living room full of strange antiquities, plants, and oddities. It looked like a curiosity shop nestled in the middle of a strange town, far from the tourist traps and influencer hotspots. Laying on a banana hammock and smoking an opium pipe was the gibbon. Golden fur and a bright brown waistcoat with no tie. He seemed pleased to see me.
Ah, Demi. So you found your way back here, huh? Oh, that's good, that's good. I suppose you want to find the glitch.
A set of dialogue options appeared beneath him. The glitch, where am I, and the owls. I selected the owls. My blood ran cold when I heard my own voice speaking. I need to know about the owls, Truman. Why are they watching me again? I sounded tired, annoyed, and younger. Truman took a long puff before answering.
Because they are worried you forgot about them. They see this world fracturing and are trying in their own way to help. It's self-preservation, trying to keep the wheels turning for just a little bit longer before the engine gives out. That's why you're back, isn't it? To find the cause and to stop it?
I selected, where am I? Hands shaking.
I don't recognize this place.
What's going on, Truman? You do some decorating of my living room while I was away?
This isn't my home anymore.
I sounded hurt, confused almost. Hurt almost. Truman sat up, tail holding the pipe and a forlorn look in his eyes. I recognized it as pity.
You've been away for quite some time, Demi. Plans had to be made, arrangements put in place. We had to do something with the empty space. I needed to move on. The truly terrific Top Shelf by Truman Totilio is a booming business. I'm sorry, Demi.
He put a hand on my shoulder.
There will always be a home for you, even if it's not here.
Lastly, I selected the glitch. Truman hopped off his hammock, and I followed him without any input from me as he took me through the aisles of the store, things shifting and changing at the mere touch. Artifacts would display one creature's head, and, if I so much as brushed them, would show another.
Things are in flux here, Demi. The world is collapsing in on itself, and through your actions, we're seeing a domino effect. You must go back to the beginning, to that night with the owls and the chase. You must confront the pursuer, and what happened as you broke free. You need to stare the beast in the face and slay it. Only then can you meet the programmer of the glitch and find out the truth. Remember, your actions determine your fate.
He stopped at a large wooden door, gilded in gold with a large brass knocker. At the base were 3 slots, 2 circular and 1 in a strange P shape. He turned, reached out a hand, and I pushed a button in response, my hand reaching up and pulling at my face. A red smear ran across the screen as my character screamed and my head throbbed before he pulled free my left eye. A beautiful, iridescent shimmer within as Truman took it gently and inspected it, holding it up to the light.
One eye that sees only the past. Remarkable. I don't wish for you to be impaired, so here.
He handed me a patch with strange markings and clasps around it.
It's a visual aid. You'll be able to see and identify threats much easier with this. For your troubles.
Truman slotted the eye into the leftmost hole, and it rolled in place before centering on me, the glow increasing as the door lit up and opened. With nothing else to do but progress, I stepped through as the higher voice spoke. You are back where it all began. Almost. The room is dark, and you know that there is something wandering those halls, waiting to claim you. But is it in this world or your own? There is no way to know anymore. You must revisit your path and uncover the truth. Face your fears. I looked around the dismal room. A mattress with harnesses on all 4 areas of the bed, now broken. A window with thick bars across it, allowing in a small slither of pale moonlight that showcased the barren, static white room. The door to my far right barred shut, a small slot on the bottom to allow in food. This is where it began to take an interest in you, Demi. It sought you out, the things that made you special, and wants so badly to take them away. Its motives are unknown, and its form even more elusive. You feared it before and ran from it. We know where that ended up. The higher voice pushing me to think quickly and act even quicker. You must face him. A deep red moon took the place of the pale light, and the door swung open, showcasing a series of halls with twisting, almost labyrinthian tunnels, each one offering a different route, all of them bathed in the same blood red the moon displayed. Down one hall, I heard a faint whistling. Let's have a little music change, chat. Welcome back, Jamie. Let's do, Now the question is, I cannot remember the voice I did for this last time, but I know I have another I need to do in a minute. Because yeah, so that's, yeah, okay. Bear me, guys, I'm just reading my own work to remind myself of the voice I want to do. Okay. I'm going to quickly actually check what I did in the original because I can't remember. Oh no, it's terrible. Did you, Demi? Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. It was just a random American voice. I couldn't remember what I did. That's terrible. All right. I think, because Jamie's here, I think we should do an Australian accent for the fog, and a Cockney accent for the Doctor, or Cockney accent for the fog, Australian accent for the Doctor. I swear in the original I do an Aussie accent for the. Hold on, I actually need to hear it now. Fuck. Oh, okay, no, it is, yeah, so the second one is in Australia. Okay, so we'll do Cockney for the... Alright. The B2 spirit. Okay. Alright. Here we go. I've been waiting for someone like you to show up. Someone special. An outlier of your kind. Someone I could spend all my time working on to further my research. His voice was sweet, dripping with arrogance and malice. I'm gonna cut out those special parts, Demi. I'm gonna find what makes you tick. His footsteps sped up, and a great, horrible shadow rose from the far hallway to my left. Twisted features and a large mouth, and hands filled with all manner of sharp objects. Too late to turn back now, Demi. We all feel the pain when you get hurt, he said. I felt a small shock rush through the controllers, snapping me upright. You are now locked into whatever happens, Switch. I trust you'll make the right choice. For all our sake. I couldn't let go. Hands fastened to the controllers, and the threat of what would happen if I failed making me panic. 2 words filled the screen as this monstrosity inched closer. Don't run, in white, over and over, begging me to stand my ground. I will take your loves, your hobbies, your passions. I will leave you with nothing. It bellowed, whispering, but bellowing. It hissed, rounding the corner as this great lumbering shape towered over the light fixtures, popping them as it stepped closer. Demi stood his ground, defiant not to walk away or hide from his fears. The beast inched closer, sharp instruments of torture scraping the fixtures. I didn't know what to do. My legs were shaking, my hands gripping the handles so tightly that I thought I might break them. But something urged me to stay still. A dialogue system came up, right as this thing came into range. I could make out nothing but the thing in its hands, and a floating pair of dead eyes with a wide grin. What do you want? And what are you? I hit the second one. It laughed. I'm everything you fear. I'm the beast in the back of your mind, the voice you don't listen to, but you've referred to me most commonly as the fog. A second option appeared, a medical check. You're part of me? Success. You could say that. I'm a part of everyone. It just depends on if they know they've met me or not. What do you want? I want you to know me as I know you. You have fought me for so long, but I always get what I want. I want you to accept this and make it as painless as possible. It is that simple. A third option appeared, this time a speech check. What happens if I accept this? If we make peace? I don't want to run anymore. Success. Then you can move forward. The pain will not be as bad, but it will get worse. I will take so much from you, but you will in turn gain clarity and a new power for the next step. 2 options appeared. Accept him or refuse him. I hit accept. The creature's grin widened and he dissipated just like a thick fog, dropping 1/2 of a strange key as it did so. A heavy shock running through the handles and searing pain hitting me for a few seconds until the higher voice spoke. Demi chose to accept the fog, knowing that running brought him here in the first place and that no journey is without its struggles. Demi loses farsight, advanced motor functions, melee combat skills, and cognitive thinking, but now has the clarity to move on from the land of confusion. A door opens up at the end of the hallway the fog came from. A door opens up at the end of the hallway that the fog came from, leading back to Truman's place. I walk towards it, my steps ever so slightly out of sync and vision blurring as Truman greeted me. "I take it you did what had to be done?" he asked. I nodded, saying nothing but looking back to the door with its next slot. "Ah, before you go, the Shimmering One wishes to offer you a gift." I turned to see a beautiful, spherical orb. A kind voice that reminded me of home spoke to me. "Hi, Demi. I know this is going to take its toll on you, and the next part is going to be painful. I can't offer you much, but I hope this helps." Something descended from her main orb and into my hands, a device with a blue button on its center. That is all of my love and support embodied in something magical. Use it when the time is right. I love you, Demi. No matter what happens, I will be here for you, okay? I'll even make your favorite dinner when you return. Something welled up within me, but I couldn't place what it was. I turned back to Truman and repeated the procedure, pulling the other eye free and handing it to him. Sight momentarily taken before another clasp was provided. The eye swiveled before situating in place, and the doors parting once more. I knew where I was going this time. The lab. I stepped through and prepared myself for what I was about to see. The higher voice once again calling out of the formless darkness. "This is where he first finds you, Demi. He is fascinated by your strange behavior and very existence. Should you let him, he will take away everything that makes you who you are, leaving you as nothing more than a husk in the land of confusion. You may run, but you know where that shall take you. This is everything you fear will come to pass. This is everything you fear will come to pass. You must face it." The darkness breaks, and I am met with a sterile white room and an old man standing on the other side of a wall of plexiglass. He looks tired, his frame barely holding him up. "Hello, Demi. It's good to see you awake and with us. Do you know where we are?" I looked around. The space I'm in housing nothing but a cold steel table and a slew of instruments adorning it. I turn back and shake my head, the elder's eyes glazing over and melancholy hanging in his words. "It's all right, Demi. We are one and the same, you know. I was so afraid of what was happening to me that I tried to impose my own beliefs and concerns onto you. I should never have stopped you from doing as you wished. But pride is a hard thing to break, you know." He walked up to the glass and placed a hand in front of me, his legs shaking. "It's going to happen soon, Demi. For me and for you. I need you to try and bear with the pain. To see the forest through the trees. There will be a sunrise. I promise." As I reached a place As I reached out to place a hand on my side, his hand retracted. As I reached out to place a hand on my side of the mirror, his hand retracted and he withdrew into a corner, shuddering uncontrollably as his limbs twisted and stretched, the skin bubbling and bursting as it multiplied exponentially, covering him until he was an amalgamated mass of flesh, rage, and sorrow. I could barely see the soft old man underneath it all, the creature shrieking and smashing all in sight out of confusion. The lights went out, and unseen hands pulled me from my spot and onto the table. I felt it. I don't know how, but even with just my hands gripping the controls, I felt my lower back throb as it met the unforgiving steel of the operating table. Psychosomatic, maybe?
Demi, I was beginning to think you wouldn't show up. Now we have a reunion.
Something slithered down from a corner of the room, limbs smacking against the wall like the skittering of a great insect. I heard mandibles click and hot breath on my forehead. How did I feel the breath? What the hell was going on? The shimmer of a sharp blade passed my eyes and ran the length of my abdomen as the unseen voice giggled.
I knew once you let one of us in, the rest could follow. Now it's my turn, and I have so much to do. So much to take in. Shall we?
The entire screen flashed red, my hands cramped up, and I gritted my teeth in agony as Demi began being split open with this blade. Strange contents lifted out of the ribcage and dropped into a metal container with a sick, wet thud.
Your sense of nobility and a pensive sick. Well, you won't need those anymore now, will you?
He dangled a strange black organ in a twisted knot, a set of small bubbles chaining off from its side into a larger oval shape.
And would you look at this? It's your sense of self.
He retracted the blade and forced a gloved hand inside me, pulling around until he wrapped deft fingers around his prize, wrenching it free as blood splattered across the wall opposite. I felt like I was going to pass out. A small, living Demi curled up in his hands as he unceremoniously dropped it into the bucket, which now was threatening to overflow.
Oh, I've got more to take, Demi, but all good patients deserve a break. So you sit tight and play nicely with your cellmate, 'cause I'll be back.
He began walking away and opened up an unseen door, pausing.
But you could finish the job for me, you know. A little DIY never hurt anyone. Besides, isn't it about time you took agency for yourself, Demi?
I couldn't see the face, but I could feel the malicious stare bearing down on me as he exited the room. The higher voice spoke, my ears ringing from the pain, though this time it was in third person. Demi knew that the trial had just begun, but staying here a moment longer was certain death. He fought valiantly against the pain, faced his fears with his elder, and allowed him to take what he wished to take. But now was the time to heal, the time to stitch it all back together, and to move forward. A suture kit appeared in front of me, my hands freed and shaking on the screen as I gripped them tightly and followed the instructions, pushing the strange contraption through the skin and letting it dance its way around the wound, finding where to puncture and tighten the silver thread. As it finished, it snapped in half and the threads tightened significantly, jolting me upright by the start. Demi stood up and with renewed purpose walked to the mirror, only one task remaining in order to gain the key and move to the final part of their journey. I did as instructed, but as I sat upright, the environment changed. I was in a bathroom, walking towards the sink where a set of items were laid out and a mirror waited for me, opened up to a sea of medications and remedies. Instinctively, I pushed the door shut and nearly screamed as I did. It was me, my own face, staring back at me, a 3D rendered version falling into that uncanny valley state, his expressionless face just gazing, waiting for me to do something. I blinked, he blinked. I craned my neck up to find the scar on my chin. He had the same thing. I noticed his age. He must have been in his late 40s or early 50s. Why didn't he look like me now? I rotated my skull around until the edges of my neck felt like they buckle under the pressure, the strain making my nerves twitch. And his did too. What the hell? I breathed. His mouth moved, awkward and janky as the jaw flapped around and the tongue lolled in the fleshy cave that was my mouth, trying to find ways to connect the syllables. The higher voice started speaking as the lights in the bathroom flickered. Demi realized that the dimension he'd stepped into was no longer his own. Rather, he was peering through a mirror into another world. A world inhabited by you, Switch. Demi does not know that this is you. He does not have the ability to see past the existing universe of which he is within. He is a part of something so big, but is completely unable to see it. Demi will live and breathe within the sandbox created around him, blissfully unaware of such realities converging on him, save for this peek behind the curtain. Demi's adventure is so agonizing close to being over, to being understood. But great strides are only made with greater sacrifices. The mirror fogs up and something is written in the condensation. Memento Mori. The lights shut off and the world is plunged into darkness. The higher voice continued. In order to take the final part of the key, you must see things for what they are. What they always were. The lights flickered, and in the mirror I could spy 2 owls, their necks turned and wings wide open, flooding the room with fluorescent light. My face grinned, but I didn't. My hands, Demi's hands, moved without my control. They gripped either side of the cabinet, and the head reared back before colliding with the glass, and a sickening crunch followed. The glass fractured as I pulled back, skull throbbing in the real world and blood pouring down the screen. And the owls were gone. In their place was a large monolith, its obsidian sheen glistening as the bright orb pulsated in its center. Another scrap. Another smash. I heard something break and a soft squelching sound. I pulled back and nearly screamed. One half of my face was my own, a maniacal grin rippling across my face and blood smearing the features, staining my teeth. A dent in my skull stretching from the ear to the eyebrow. Freedom. The other half was Demi, confused, terrified, and clearly in agony. He looked like he was desperate to escape, to get out. He was pulling at the skin, pushing to separate the flesh that bound him to my doppelganger. I felt a horrible burning on my face and the sounds of screeching until I saw nothing but red. The game notified me with an audio cue that I had acquired something in my inventory, but I was in no position to check. White text filled the screen. A distorted higher voice punctuated the silence. You're going to be okay, I promise. Just take my hand and follow me. I reached out a bloodied hand and grabbed something in front of me. In an instant, the pain stopped and I was looking up at Truman, holding his hand. You had a pretty nasty fall when you got in here, Demi. Everything all right? His hazel eyes were warm, a friendly concern. I nodded, a pair of text chats appearing. What do we do now? Is there anything else I should do first? I selected the latter, getting to my feet as Truman climbed to his hammock and smoked his pipe. You should really see the Shimmering One. She says she has something for you. She's just outside in the Midnight Fountain.
Mind you don't bother the toads, he called after me as I turned on my heel and maneuvered my way through the menagerie. A sea of complex colors and oddities became blurry as I focused on the task at hand. Something told me I had to speak to her. Something primal. I checked my inventory and noticed what I was now holding. A remnant of who you are. It was in the shape of the P, a 1/2 to be precise. Spines dangling down the sides of it and lines caressed the top. Nothing for it now. I had to keep focused. Quick pause, chat, because we're on the last 6 pages. Oh, my neck is killing me. Whee! Oh my goodness. Okay. I saw bone broth for the Hobo Queen. Greg, I love watching the Irwins. Okay, hold on. Let me go back for the chat for a minute. Oh, my poor neck. Oh. And Ants Canada. Okay, I will look at that. Grounded is a good idea. The Fat Electrician is cool. Which was growing up. Quick bang out. Actually, in the more human side of the story, reading the parts. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I make mistakes myself, you know. The Gibbon was in a banana hammock. He was. Tee-hee-hee. Hope it was a Speedo brand. Ah. Boo. Welcome back, Jamie. Orange and yellow bell peppers taste best with quesadillas, in my opinion. Quesadillas, excuse me. That's very white of me. I got a tomato, tortilla, and Munster. Lovely. The ability to switch voices like never ceases to amaze me. Cheese. Yeah, I'm doing a long one today. I wanted to, you know, again, like I told you, the commitment is here. Like, I want you guys to know if you turn up for a chilled stream and I read or edit, it's going to be 3 to 4 hours. Because, again, gets more people going on. Yeah, so I'm nearly at the end. When I'm done, I'll do a quick wrap-up. We'll probably be done in the next 20 minutes, is my guess, which is about what I wanted. So we'll see. But yeah, I am a machine. I am most definitely a machine. But also, the thing is, guys, this is making it so that I'm actually doing the work. Like, excuse me. I enjoy doing this. Like, I really do. I love reading. I just sometimes need motivation, unfortunately, to kind of, like, get myself focused on it. And that's sort of like, you know, what these chats are for. It's a good chance to talk to everybody. You know, get some conversations going, and it means that, well, you know, when I wake up tomorrow, all the work's already done. So now it's just a case of editing and putting it all together. You know, that's what definitely helps me, and you know, you guys get to hear them early, so it works for everybody, I think. But anyway, anyone else think TJ would totally sound like they would wear a cowboy hat when he could rock a cowboy hat? I should ask my friend Manders if he's got one. Cowboy shit. Hi Arlo, nice to meet you, buddy. You're among friends. I love the stories of this channel. Always use them to listen to your Metal Strikes. Brilliant. Well, you got more long videos coming. The Debbie's Adventure one will probably be 2 hours, is my guess. I would say about 2 hours when it's done. And that's not including the transmissions and stuff. So that's going to be nice, and everyone can enjoy that. And then, yeah, I'm going to try to do longer form videos. That's my aim anyway. Shorter videos just don't do as well. So I'd rather just, as long as I'm doing streams, getting stuff out, I think, you know, you guys can wait a little bit longer for videos. We'll see. Thanks for the fun today. I had totally a distraction. You're welcome, Jamie. I hope you enjoyed my Australian accent, my insane Australian accent. All right, guys. Now, I'm going to warn you in advance. Get your tissues ready, because the sad moments are coming where if you don't know this story, oh boy. I can't even imagine if you don't know this story, but we're getting to the truly sad moments now. So let's switch it up, get some other music ready. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna suggest Bear's Den's Crow. I love this song so much. And again, if you followed Nightmare Detectives, I have an entire section of sad music. Tea and cookies, let's go. I'm waiting until, so it's 3:30 in the morning here, and I'm up all night tonight anyway. And I'm going to be getting a crusty French baguette with cheese spread, Gruyere, and maybe some
bacon and an energy drink. That is going to be my breakfast. I'm so excited. I've got 3 hours to go. Glass of cool water. Let's go. All right, gang. Okay. Let me make sure timing is that. You know me, I'm a slut for timing. Yes, okay, I've got my timing down. All right, this is gonna. Oh boy, oh boy. Two really sad moments coming. All right. Here we go. Keep hiccuping. I followed the reticule and pushed open a pair of French doors, a beautiful glow temporarily binding me. A beautiful glow temporarily blinding me as I put my hands up to shield my eyes. When I opened them, I could have damn near cried. Have you ever walked into a room and felt that you were in a place you'd been to before, but clearly had never experienced? A living dream, if you will. Well, as I took one barefoot step in front of the other, I felt the cool black sand between my toes, small stones glinting up at me. I looked down and saw the expansive path lay out in front of me. Beyond this small single trail of black sand to mark my path was a clear bottom, beneath of which was a bird's eye view of the cosmos. Above sat a lavender sky with slithers of radiant light punctuating through the clouds in an almost heavenly beauty. I knew where I was, and I knew where to go. Emotions I'd long since pushed down within me rushed to the surface and lodged in my chest. Big words I'd forgotten how to articulate came into my mind but vanished before they could escape my lips. All I could do was walk to the end of the path. At the end of the winding path sat the Shimmering One. She was clad in beautiful vestments, her features obscured from view but undeniably familiar. I somehow knew this woman was family, but was unable to place it. "You kept it on you, didn't you?" she asked, soft tones filling my ears and sending my emotions into overdrive. I nodded, looking down at my hands and seeing that I'd pulled her gift from the inventory. "Push the blue button." I did, and saw a photo appear in front of me. A young, happy Demi, arms draped over a pair of people laughing just as hard. Sat on a beach of black sand. A dark sun in the sky. Large birds flapping in the background while we chuckled without a care in the world. Our necks draped in shark-tooth necklaces. "Do you know who they are, Demi?" It took me a moment, but I knew the girl was the Shimmering One. I pointed to the photo and then to her. She trembled, her composure glitching for a second before returning to its normal form. "It's funny how some days can feel so long ago, but yesterday all at once, isn't it? That photo is years gone by, but it's still so present for me. I love photos. I could jump into it and feel like I'm really there. But you can't, can you, Demi?" She takes the item gently from my hands and holds it close to her chest. The floor beneath us shakes. And the view pans to that same beach rapidly coming into focus. But this time there's no black sand, no dark sun or large birds. I saw that younger me, sitting on a beach on a pier I knew all too well. The guy on my right was chattering away, but I couldn't make out his face. It was a pale, jumbled mess, like someone scratched away the discerning features and what was left was a confused blur. When I looked to the right and saw the young woman, I again felt that pang of familiarity. It increased tenfold when I kissed her and saw her stomach glow bright. My hands shook. I didn't understand. Who was she to me? "It's time for the curtain to rise, Demi. Time for you to open the door. I hope that you'll see what I see. What we all want you to see." The view from below panned back and the Shimmering One rose into the sky, glowing brighter and brighter. "Soon he will find you. He will try to take you. You must finish the game before then. She looked down at me. At Demi. I couldn't see her face, but I knew she was smiling. I love you. Her glow reached a magnificent apex, and she shattered into a million pieces. A soft, iridescent rain of who she once was cascading down. And all I could do was cry. Cry for a reason that was so far beyond me that I had no earthly idea what for. The game made a noise, and I realized I'd picked up something. A shard of who you were. The other half of the peace symbol. Combined together, it made a clicking sound and formed the master key. It was in the shape of a brain. Back at the door, exhausted and confused, I felt resolute to finish the journey. In the real world, I could hear knocking and a gentle pleading from an older voice to be let in, but I paid it no mind. This journey had to be finished. Walking back to Truman, he was swinging upside down by his tail as I approached him. He flipped himself upright and gestured for me to sit down.
I take it this is your last conversation, yes?
I nodded, waiting for the game to register. He looked forlorn.
I see. Well, while you only have fleeting moments with me, it's been a pleasure knowing you. I hope by the end of this, you'll come to appreciate me in the same way. Good luck, Demi. Memento mori.
He outstretched a palm and I took it, shaking vigorously before I pulled him in for a hug. It somehow felt right.
He's outside. You must finish this, Switch.
I seized up. I was still hugging Truman and he was still whispering.
He wants you to He wants to stop you from remembering, from making a choice. You must see this through. Good luck.
He pulled away and his animations returned to a scripted format, walking over to the grand door and waiting for me to join him. I sat there in disbelief, hands shaking and the voice of someone at the door growing impatient, storming off to find someone who will open this bloody door. I made my way over and passed the final key, watching it insert into the lock before lighting up. A gorgeous purple hue ran through the seam of the door, illuminating every part of the frame before it creaked open, waiting for me to go through. Goodbye, Truman. Thank you, I muttered, feeling silly talking to an NPC. But something in the game must have registered the first word, because he bowed deeply and replied,
Farewell, Demi. It's time for your adventure to end.
Outside, I could see the sun is going down. Time is running out. Time is running out. Blinding lights, an impact, a ringing in my ears, blackness that cuts to a highway in the middle of the countryside. I'm barefoot. My skin feels like fire and the rain is acidic as it touches me. Something on me is bleeding, but I cannot place where. A pair of flashing lights stops short of me and pulls a blanket for me. A pair of flashing lights stops short of me and pulls a blanket over me. They ask me questions, but I cannot understand them. Maybe it's the ringing, the speed of their dialogue, but a tree has been uprooted behind me, and as they talk, my attention goes to it. I see a car in the embrace of the root, metal lovingly wrapped around the bark in a forbidden embrace. Something is smeared on the bark. Sap? No. It's broken through the windshield. I see now. The light has now faded. My legs give out, and I fight the fog long enough to scream. Blackness returns, and I awake in a sterile room. Voices congregate at my bedside. Then outside the door. The older voice wishes for stability. The younger for choice. I do not know who they are, but the younger man is calmer and more reserved. I like him. I can no longer tell if this is in my room or in the game, but it does not matter. Someone shows me a chart with markers on the head. I do not understand, even when someone helps me. It simply looks like abstract art, and I shrug. They seem concerned. One of the men in a thick lab coat grins at me when he thinks the others aren't looking. The one with the older voice winks at him. He looks hungry. His features stretch and twist the longer I stare, and the pupils dilate to a point where all light is blotted out. The more scared I get, the more it fuels him. I don't like him. I want him to go away. Night falls and I find a way to get out of my bed. The door is left ajar and I run on instinct. I want freedom. I need freedom. I do not care what the cost is. I reach a hallway and see the exit, unmanned and without obstacle. But as I prep my feet to run, a television in the room adjacent to me turns on, and the higher voice speaks. One second, chat. Hello, Robbie. Could you come over here for just a moment? Something in me obliges and I walk over, static blasting through the screen as the voice continues. You could take off the goggles if you like. It may be best if we have this conversation face to face, now that the game is at its end. Don't worry, you'll have a little bit more to do when I'm done. I did as instructed and my eyes stung from the soft light of the arcade cabinet, the natural light from outside long since passed. Looking back at me was a kind but tired man in his late 30s, his black hair already graying at the edges and a thick beard wrapped around his face. Must be a nice way to keep warm. It's good to see you, Robbie. It looks like we're reaching the end here, both in the game and with your ability to keep playing it. You look so sad. Was this live? I can still play, sir. I'm not far off the end, right? I didn't want him to think I'd let him down, not if this was his game that he made for me. His face fell even more. Oh, Robbie. You don't even remember how you got the game in the first place, do you? I blinked. I tried to think back. Didn't I get it from a sale? Maybe it was one of those weird websites. Robbie, it's all right. We could still do this before that final bit of daylight fades. I just need you to listen carefully. Can you do that? Sure. What do you need? I asked, hearing some furtive conversations on the other side of my door, doing my best to leave them out. Robbie, I made this game for you. You were always an amazing individual with a vivid imagination, and when we were growing up, you constantly talked about your aspirations to make this into a reality. You said it had helped so many people and entertained many more, but you never got the chance to. His lip quivered, but he soldiered on. So, I took up the task. I made this to help you remember. And to help you make a choice. You made it clear that if ever anything like this would happen to you, that you wanted to make your own choice. What do you mean? I'm fine, aren't I? I protested, flexing my arms and legs to go double check. Robbie, how old do you think you are? I scoffed and answered, knowing full damn well how old I was. I'm 32. Why? I could see something in his eyes. A tear, perhaps. He cleared his throat. Robbie, you're 43. I felt the pit of my stomach contract. I had no mirrors to look in, but something rang true in his voice. He continued. This game was full of ways to remind you of who you are and what happened, to jolt you back into remembering before he shows up to take you. Robbie, there are bad people who want to shove you into a dark room and pick at your brain to find out how you got the disease. I'm your brother. I know you don't want that. The voices at the door got more frantic. Panicked, they started hitting the door. It sounds like you listened to the instructions at the beginning and locked the door, but you probably don't recall now. No matter. We must proceed, Robbie. If you want your way out, then you need to put the goggles back on and finish the game. You'll be met with a choice, and if you choose to finish the adventure, you'll go to sleep, and you won't wake up. The cabinet is filled with glass. This cabinet is filled with gas, and when pressed, it will activate. Choose to continue the adventure? Well, you'll find out what the men on the other side of that door want with you. He cleared his throat, emotions overcoming him. I wish I could comfort him, but I barely knew the guy. Robbie, it's time. The choice is yours. It has always been yours. Whatever you decide, whatever choice you make, whatever happens, I love you. We all did. Goodbye. The screen shut off, and I felt compelled to take the headset to finish what I started. I wish I could tell you all that my memories came flooding back, that everything I saw makes sense now and I understand every bit of what the game was telling me. But I don't. With every passing minute, I feel my grip on the world grow more fragile. The fog grows ever thicker, and less of me is here to fend it off. I feel tired, weary, like I'm stretched too thin and wrapped too tightly. So I think it's time to end the adventure. Don't you? Something is screaming at the door. It sounds almost inhuman with the way it slams its weight against the frame, expletives ringing out and scaring the neighbors. It must be a demon. No matter. I am resolute in my choice. I played Demi's adventure. I got out of the land of confusion. I made my choice. Memento mori, indeed. I put the coin in the machine. I feel the engraving beneath my fingertips, and I can tell it's from the early 2000s. The weight gives me a sense of comfort as I let it go. The satisfying click and kerchunk of the coin finding its new home, off to the land where arcade coins lay dormant. The screen lights up. The fluorescent LEDs blink to life, and a wave of nostalgia hits me. Just like that, I'm taken right back to being a child again, as the title screen blinks at me. Okay, let's play. Woo, and we're done. Alright, I'm going to check the chat. I'm going to see how many people are mad at me for making them cry. Oh, God, my body. The aches. Everything else. Hold on, I need to copy and paste what Phyrexian just said, because we need some happiness. I can't. Can I copy this? I can. Hold on. All right, Phyrexian. I'm copying it into what is it? Copy paste it into Google. Okay, on it. All right. I'm so tired. That's such emotional whiplash. Oh my God. I am gonna get Lucy with that in a little bit. That's so stupid. So stupid. Oh, okay. I'm making a massive pot of curry for dinner tonight, but it needs to cook for several hours, and the smells make me sick. The smell of like any stew or curry will do that. That's brutal. You have my sympathies. My guess is, yeah, the full thing should be about an hour and 50 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours 10 with the transmissions because I just looked at the runtime. I'm still gonna get Lucy to do the shimmering one, I think. But yeah. Celtic Crone. Is it Celtic Croon? Crone? Tell me how to pronounce that, bud. Forgotten many emotions to school. Yeah, it's a painful one. Sorry, Jamie, but yeah, I just had to. But yeah, I got the emotions I wanted, and I got to give you sad music, which is great. And that last track, by the way, is Faye's theme from the incredible Finding Paradise. No game has ever made me ugly cry the way that To the Moon and Finding Paradise did. I've not actually played the next one yet. I really should play it, but I haven't yet. Hey, Space Dandy, love you too, and I hope all is well. On your end, I'm here, I'm vibing, we're doing it. We're gonna wrap up in a minute, gang, because we are rapidly hitting the 4-hour mark. That's the longest stream we've ever done, and we consistently, I love that, we consistently kept 20 plus. Thank you guys so much. Like, it's a little jump, but it means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it, and we're going to do more. So now you know, we've got a Simple Fool in the Discord as well, so hello, Simple Fool. Now, guys, remember, we're going to do these every week, and if I'm not reading, I'm editing, so you'll get to hear all these bits and bobs together on either Tuesday or possibly Wednesday if I have to move it. Tomorrow, as far as I know, tomorrow is still a stream for Repo with the gang, and next week we'll do something else, but again, we'll figure out how they go. I think I've covered everything. I mean, what a fucking lengthy ass chat. And I look forward to seeing all of you for that. I will be working on Demi this weekend. I doubt it's going to be out this weekend. I'm going to try and get it up before I fly out next week, because it'd be lovely to have this as a full thing. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can. No, this has only just started, Arlo. Don't worry. I've started doing this week because we've started getting more people in the streams, and I was like, I want to, get more active members of our community in, because I know that more people want to socialize, and I love that. So no, it will be a weekly thing as of this week. It was an experiment this week. The highest concurrent viewers we've had has been today, and Repo last week. Tells me that, even if 30 people turn up, that's a fucking audience. I don't care. I love it, and obviously the more people we get, the better it's going to be. So thank you all so much for just hanging out with me for, that. And you know what? Reading with an audience means I get better performances. So I'm definitely going to do that going forward. I'll try and do some secret things. But hey, you know what? Maybe next week, it might be Last Giant on the Mountain. Which would be fucking... That's exclusive as exclusive gets. We'll see. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. I think I'm a good voice actor. God, I'm so burpy. I think I'm a good voice actor, and I think I've got good defenders in you, Alex. Appreciate that. Thank you, Silver Crone. Thank you, Alex. Welcome, Mr. Nunez. Please enjoy going back to the stream. It's a lot of reading of the stories. Snooze did a little rant about looking after yourself. Super important. We definitely got to show the algorithm who the fucking boss is, Space Dandy. Celtic, it'll always be about 7 p.m. EST. Now, I will run it later if people want it later. Generally speaking, we normally start with 10 and then about 20 and then 30 within an hour. So I normally just do a little bit of waffling and chill and then people turn up. But 7 p.m. EST is always the time we run at, unless you guys tell me otherwise. I love Bear's Den. Such a great group. That track I played earlier was Crow, and I really recommend it. But thank you all so much. I'm going to wrap up here. I'm going to go and have a stretch because my neck is killing me. Hug your loved ones. Have a good sleep. Enjoy some bad food. Love yourself. I love you and I appreciate you. And I'll see you all tomorrow for Repo. Take care, guys.